Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to Jump Street Podcast. What up, Billy?
Where it all began.
Where it all began. I actually filmed before we did this, I filmed like a behind the scenes for Patreon of like setting up everything. I was like, this is where we started. When we're back here, that's how I felt the same way. Like, this is where Jump Street started.
Yeah.
This is our roots right here. Not
Right
on this
here.
table, but in this spot.
No, we did upgrade the table. The table has been upgraded, but this is the spot. Yep. We got some new nifty contraptions, but...
Yeah, Iggy Lopez, by the way, sent us these a while ago. Shout out Iggy Lopez. But they were just too big. But now we broke our old ones because they were shit. So now we need to use the quality ones. So big shout out to Iggy. Thank you so much.
Shout out, Iggy. Everyone, welcome. Episode 134, Jump Street Podcast. We have a very special guest. We are going to be going through a lot with our guest because he has quite a rich history in skating. So I'm excited for that. But before we do, I don't know which camera to look at. I guess
we're doing the middle. I could do that. Why don't you go?
Okay, we'll do the middle one. Hey,
okay,
so please, I'm just going to look at you now. Please follow us on all of our social media platforms. You probably heard me say this a million times. There's 1,000,001. If you like what you're watching, please go to our social media sites. We have a Facebook. You can like what we're doing. You can hit the like button. You go to our YouTube. You can subscribe, hit the notification bell. So when we have an episode coming and when we start a live episode, it gives you an alert. We have in iTunes. If you're listening and just wanting the audio, you can... Does iTunes do the video too?
Not yet.
No.
I'm sure they will one day.
Okay. I just didn't know if that was happening yet. Okay, so if you want to do just audio, you can go on iTunes. If you like what you're hearing, you can give us a 5-star rating and a review. We also have a Patreon. If you would like to be a Patreon member, you can do so for as little as $3 a month. And when you become a Patreon, you have access to our exclusive content that we put on our Patreon page. We have Inside Outs. Those are our trick tips. We have 3 pieces. We have section reviews with some of our guests. We have them on after the show and we go through some of their sections. We did section reviews of some of our favorite sections that we just randomly recently put up. And
there's one more of those that have to go up, so
cool.
Stay tuned for everybody. There's still 4 other videos of that too as well.
Very cool. And yes, you're also automatically entered in a random drawing every month to win something for free from our online store, whether that be a shirt, a tank top, 5-panel hat, or one of these lovely Jump Street mugs. So that's my spiel. I feel like it was a different pace, a different energy today, but it's good.
I think it went pretty well.
Good.
I think we're good. On the topic of our Patreons, I want to shout out our new Patreon supporters this week. We have Vladimir Kacherga, Hunter Wills, and Josue Sanchez. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. You're entered in the next giveaway we do in a couple of weeks for the month of November. But let's do our WTF for the week this week. We have a WTF brought to you by our Patreon supporter, David Dodge, and it is Giovanni Peterl. I'm definitely not getting that one right, but for audio listeners, we have a mega ramp wheelbarrow. Oh, he backflips. He backflips the wheelbarrow front flips, and he catches it again before he lands it. I was checking on Giovanni's Instagram page, and he has a bunch of just him messing around on this mega ramp with wheelbarrows and all different types of things. So very interesting page. Check him out if you haven't already. This is pretty wild. I've never seen this before.
I mean, I gotta say, like, first of all, this is incredible. But 2, when I look at these contraptions that people are skating, I'm like, look at it's like a lot to skate one thing, right? Like a lot of work.
Oh, like to build it or
to build it?
Oh yeah, that building that is.
Look
insane.
at that.
The thing is like 60 feet tall.
Look at it, dude.
I don't even know where you buy an airbag like that too.
And then apparently these airbags are just on the market somewhere.
Yeah, does Target have this? Does like Walmart have them?
Yeah, leave it in the comments. How much are these things? Where can I buy one?
Can I get one for Christmas?
Yeah, can I put one in my yard? I'm just going to use that as a slide.
Super. And he has the trees going along the ramp too. He kind of like dressed it up a little bit. Shout out Giovanni. That might be a world's first. We had Haffy do it with the shopping cart. Mm-hmm. And then actually CJ Wilsmore was on the show when he spoke about how he had to do it when he replaced Chris Haffy at a few shows. And he said how miserable that experience was. So if you haven't checked out the CJ Wilsmore episode, check that out too. And Chris Haffy too. But shout out Giovanni. Good shit. Very unique.
Yeah, very cool. Also, we have coming up not this weekend, but next weekend, October 22nd, the Frankie Morales Invitational.
Yeah.
So we're coming up in the contest season. We got the Frankie Morales Invitational on the 22nd. We got the Blade Cup coming up the first weekend of November. So I believe so.
Yeah. November 4th through the 6th.
Right.
So it's 2 weeks after
Okay.
the Frankie one.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's going to be an incredible event. We got some good events coming up. Good things for the Blade community going down.
Yeah, the Frankie one's in Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Blading Cup in Santa Ana. So we'll see you all there. You're going to both, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just be at the Blading Cup one. So should be a good time. Always a good time.
Yeah, should be good.
Let's give a shout out to our sponsor for this episode because we wouldn't be here without our sponsor. Big announcement for this one. My cat's going crazy in the background. So
it's always something with the new cat.
I told you he's crazy.
He's great.
He's great, but he's wild right now.
It doesn't bother me. I love him.
Might jump on the table in the middle of the podcast. We'll see.
I don't know. Does it bother you guys? If so, leave it in the comments. I don't know. I'm not bothered.
I guess if you're not a cat person,
yeah,
it would bother you.
I guess so.
But Blank, we have an announcement here that Blank is officially announcing their brand new team skate for 2023. Oh, I moved it out of the way. The Blank 2023 Team Skate in limited edition pigeon blue colorway. It looks really sick. The Team Skate is a minimal streamlined skate where all the team riders had input to make something that is timeless and features all the best components right out the box. Has a lot of cool features like 60 millimeter hydrogen wheels and twin cam bearings for a super smooth ride. A direct mount one piece sole plate, which provides strong connection from the frame directly to the shell, and a premium V2 memory foam liner. Works together with the footbed, a really good footbed, by the way, to provide optimal stability and comfort. Like the Sean Keane Pro Model Skate, the Blank 2023 Team Skate is available in individual full-size shells. So if you're like a size 8, it's a size 8 shell. If you're a size 9, a size 9 shell, and so on. The skate will be available starting between now and November 15th, depending on where you are in the world. So pick them up. U.S. sizes 6 to 12.5. And it includes the elusive size 11 that apparently was never available on the Sean Keane skate for some reason that I don't know about. But you can get them in all those sizes. It also comes at a cheaper price point than the Sean Keane skate for only $299 for everything. So if you want to accommodate a more budget-friendly, option for a premium skate, check out the Team Skate from Blank. Go to blankrollingproducts.com to learn more. And they have a cool little video on there, a lot more high-res photos and a lot more details about the skate itself. So definitely check out blankrollingproducts.com and check out that new 2023 Team Skate. Holla.
The elusive size 11.
That's how Cameron Talbot described it to me. So I just took his word for word because it was pretty funny. But I didn't know that it wasn't available in the size 11. Before we continue, though, I want to also encourage everybody to check out, please, Jump Supplements, which is Billy and mine's first supplement brand in the skating world. Jump Supplements. We personally handpicked a line of supplements that every skater can benefit from, starting with full spectrum hemp extract CBD oil. We have an ultra joint flex supplement to promote joint health and maintain mobility. We have a multivitamin with energizing B vitamins, immunity support, and antioxidant formula. We have platinum turmeric to support joint and muscle health. And finally, the krill oil to support joint, brain, and heart health. We have deals with bundles if you want to buy 3 bottles or more. Save big on those. We have free domestic shipping in the U.S. and we ship internationally to the U.K., Canada, Australia, and Italy. So check out jumpsups.com, link in the description, and get your body feeling right with these supplements that we personally chose that would benefit the skate world.
Very good. I use my turmeric every day.
We got to keep these joints going. We got to be skating to our 60s, 70s, 80s.
We got to.
And what better place to start than Jump Subs?
I think it's a good place to start.
I think it's a great place to start.
Yeah.
You know what else is a great place to start at? I think with our guest might be a good place to start.
Great segue. Is this guy a pro? Has he been
Horrible.
doing it for 134 episodes or has he been doing it for 134
Horrible.
episodes? Fantastic.
Horrible.
Please, do we have our guest handy?
Yeah, he's around here.
Guest.
Everybody, please welcome our special guest, Ariel Surun. There is cheering going on, I believe. If people will probably hear it, not us.
I can't hear it. I'm cheering in my heart.
Let me fix these cameras real
Hey,
quick.
buddy.
Hi, bud. How you doing?
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
It's great to finally have you on.
Yay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, just a little nervous.
Well, just look at it like us chatting. There's no cameras. There's no mics. These headphones aren't here. Just some friends casually sipping on some water
Just
out of these
chatting it up.
lovely Jump Street mugs.
How many times
I
have
do
we
like
talked before, all of us? It's the same thing.
All right, well, dude.
How you guys doing, though?
Yeah.
How's everything?
Good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man.
Good seeing
Honestly,
you.
it's always good to be when I'm in New York, catch up with friends, good friends like you, and always good to see you, Austin.
Ariel
Nice.
Ariel always looks like he's doing good, doesn't he? He's an old man, but young
so.
at heart still.
Holy
yeah.
moly, you got on the podcast for 2 minutes. He's calling you an old man.
It's all good.
Are you not?
Disrespect.
The
What?
disrespect.
This,
That is
man.
very respectful. I said he's young at heart. He's staying
It-
young.
it's okay.
You would never guess. Viewers, how old do you think he is? 25,
I do.
26?
Yeah. I look different every time. I think me and you talked about it.
If you shave the beard, you would have a young face.
Yeah. I think I looked older when I was 15 than I do now.
With just the mustache?
Yeah.
That does happen sometimes. You know, sometimes like you see your friends like they look younger
Uh-huh.
after like 10 years somehow.
Well, it depends how you take care of your body. If you're
Yeah.
eating
I think
like
that's
shit
what-
and doing
yeah.
whatever,
No,
you're gonna
when you
look like
when I shave, I look, I look like a very young boy.
shit.
It's good.
Um,
Ariel, I gotta say,
Yeah.
man, you know, I met you a long time ago.
yes.
Very long time ago.
I was actually going back of all those days of exactly when was it I met you.
Do you remember when you
I
guys first met?
remember when I met. It was Mike that introduced me to fish.
Was it
Yep. We met at 516.
516?
Mike Johnson?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it was funny because we were skating and I remember skating the quarter pipe and fish was just destroying that dope ass box that they had there. Remember the bar box?
Yeah.
Bower box. We need more Bower boxes in the
Dude,
world of
there's no
skating
bar
now.
box.
I
How's
know.
there's-
I've been saying that
Somebody.
forever.
Bower
Bower
box.
boxes need to make
And a
comeback.
launch box. You
That's
go
like-
skate. You go skate the one in Jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanna
Launch
go
boxes,
there.
Bower boxes. But like the old Bayonne box we used to have. Look.
Yeah.
Those things were
Classic
so
stuff.
fun.
It's classic
There's
stuff.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have any of those.
These were key in like the NIST competitions
They
back
were
in
the
the
best. Shields had one.
They made you so
Yeah.
good though.
Oh
day.
yeah.
They were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
But yeah, so I think that must have been like 98, 99. But
yes.
but even when I met you then, you had already had like this longer skate
Yeah.
history. I'm actually excited, like as a friend, to because I've spoken with you about this before, but not at length.
Mhm.
So I know you were in the circus at one point. Like you had
Yeah.
a skate job in the
Yeah,
90s,
I
like
did.
which is like paid the bills, which is like,
Yeah.
you know, that's pro skating.
Yeah.
If you're looking, you know, that's what you're
Mhm.
doing for a job. You're professionally getting paid to skate.
Yeah.
But before all that, I know you started like you were like from like the first wave of people in New York, like from that generation. So when did you start? How did you get into it?
So basically, we moved to New York from Dominican Republic to the Bronx, like I think when I was like 5, and then I think with a lot of Bronx skaters, this is kind of funny because you guys had Mike and me and Mike and I think even Ray and a lot of Bronx skaters grew up skating skate key. It was a roller skating rink. It was like very popular. So I think I started going there with my parents, or even when my parents were they were divorced at the time. But later on, my mom was seeing this guy named Tommy, and that was like the thing that they used to go and take us. They used to go take us roller skating, like the whole
Quad skating. pretty
quad
much.
skating,
Mhm.
yeah, to skate key. So I think I started going there when I was like 9 or something like that, and just skating, and I was like, I got it really good. And it was like the first time skating, and I was able to skate backwards and everything. And then I remember going on like a trip a school trip to skate key, and I remember I was super hyped because I was like, oh, I'm gonna
kill
crush
it.
it. I'm gonna crush it.
Was it like fifth grade? Because like
It was 5th grade.
fifth grade,
Fifth grade.
they took us to a
Sports Fest?
no, it's like there's like a roller skating place.
They're the
just
best. Those things
in
are
Perth
fun. Yeah.
Amboy. I forgot the name of it,
In
but
Jersey.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it was like a school thing.
Yeah. It was a 5th grade trip.
I never did that.
Very cool.
Oh,
I
dude.
never got to show off like you guys
Really?
did.
Oh, it was the best. So we went on this trip, and then I was crushing it, whatever. And then I saw, I think, a video.
Just smoking them, huh?
I was just able to skate backwards. I remember he was
just
holding
killing them out there.
holding a girl's hand and skating with her, and he was just skating
In fifth
backwards.
grade,
you know what we
Yeah,
used to
just
do?
crushing it, dude.
We used to have like, cause like I don't think I was that good at skating backwards, but I would still want to impress the girls. So we'd tell like one of our friends like, "Yo, like when you're skating like around the curve, like slip and fall, and I'll jump over you."
Oh, that's a
What?
good one though.
Yeah,
You had
yeah.
a whole.
yeah.
No, we had a thing.
You had a routine.
So they'd slip and fall, and I'd jump over them, and I'd be like, "Yeah," and they'd be like, "All right, now it's my turn. You fall." And I'll jump
Do like a
over
nice mute grab over them or something?
you. No, I was. This is that's way
That's
too
too
high
advanced,
level.
yeah.
Yeah, that's way too high level. But I'm sorry.
but yeah, it was it was. I got it very quick and was able to skate backwards and everything. And then after that, we kept going to the skate rink like every Saturday with my parents. And then I saw a commercial for rollerblades, and it was like for I think it was the one skate that had the ATV brake, and it's like some dude's bombing a hill and one guy can't stop, or his girlfriend lives like halfway down this hill in San Francisco and he can't stop, so he gets the ATV brakes. So I saw this commercial, and I was like, oh my god, everybody's gonna have these rollerblades at the roller skating rink. Like I need rollerblades, and begged my mom, and at that point, like her and Tommy were dating for pretty good amount, and we were living together, and basically I talked to both of them. I had an allowance for throwing out the garbage and everything and doing that, and just begged them, and they were like, basically he's like, if you get good grades, we'll get you these rollerblades. So boom.
So you hit the books.
Oh, woo!
You hit the books.
Woo!
Ariel was like turning off the TV, just like
got amazing, crushed in school. So basically I'm getting these rollerblades. We went to this.
It's cool about kids. You can just like bribe kids
especially with
Just read.
It's awesome.
Read and get what you want.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just read the books and do your homework.
Yeah.
So basically, I remember the day going to the store. There was a store in the Bronx that was kind of like a version of Toys R Us. It was called Lino Kitty City, and this is like in the early '90s. Like, I remember getting these skates. They were not Rollerblade brand. They were this company called Titans, and they were black and orange, but it was basically the same Rollerblade boot.
You weren't upset that it wasn't the same one you saw on
I
that
didn't
commercial?
I didn't have a clue. Like I didn't, I just saw the commercial and people had these skates.
Yeah,
The skates were in a line.
I thought you wanted the actual skate you saw on
No,
TV.
it was just basically I saw the skates and I was like, this is what everybody's gonna have. This is the future. So
the future is now.
Yeah. So I remember going to the store, and it's kind of like it was like a version of Toys R Us. It kind of died out, but I remember going there and finding the skates and not even so hyped. Didn't even try them on. Just grabbed them.
Those work. Yeah.
I was like, I looked at them like, yep, this fits. So I took them, went home, try them on. They didn't fit. I was like, Mom, they don't fit. Can we go back to the store? No, we're going to go tomorrow after school. That was the longest day ever.
Mm-hmm.
But finally got my size. And then after that, I was just doing everything. Everything, like played football in the street with rollerblades on. Play tagged on with rollerblades on. My friends called it cheating at one point. Like, you're cheating. You can't do it with rollerblades. So then they ended up getting skates, and that was really cool.
And now everyone's playing football in the Bronx on some rollerblades.
And then like we basically started doing that and watch. There was a TV show that was like a cartoon. It was like Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky. Who else? Bo Jackson. It was like the dudes that were like the shit in sports, And there was an episode that they had like their shoes turned into rollerblades.
Oh.
And they like, play like a game of hockey against some like bad guys or whatever it was.
Save the world.
So we ended up buying, we're like, let's get hockey sticks, and and started doing that. And that movie I think came out, was it out already? Mighty Ducks or whatever. But just doing that, but I didn't know anything about tricks. Like I would just skate around the neighborhood and jump things. I've jumped over like lined up a bunch of skateboards with like a wooden bricks, and just a up ramp. Gapped a bunch of. I jumped over my sister.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So I wasn't alone in this.
The skate, a bunch of everything, everything you could see that you could jump over. You're like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then we're living in this neighborhood in Westchester when that all was happening, and we moved neighborhoods. Like my mom and Tommy split up, and like we moved neighborhoods.
Tommy's your stepfather.
Yes, yeah, he was like my stepfather at the time, my stepfather at the time. Basically, we moved to this one part of the Bronx, 177 East Tremont. The building is 1915 Morris Avenue. I remember this building forever.
Google Earth it.
Yeah, so moved there, and then my friends that I had to say bye to my friends that I was just skating with and playing other games with, and moved to this new neighborhood, and made new friends and everything. None of them skated. at first they kind of looked at me kind of funny, like, oh, you this guy. But you know, we became cool playing sports and stuff like that. I didn't rollerblade.
I was about to say, you didn't just whip out the rollerblades.
No. I try to get them onto it, and they were just like, oh no. And they used to call me like good names, like skate kid or something, like just funny.
Yeah.
I was just always the kid skating around the neighborhood.
No, it's so funny. Like in New York, it's probably like the same in the other neighborhoods, but in New York, like, and when you're out skating and you're like with your neighborhood friends, you go out skating, go with your skate friends, and you come back and the kids in the neighborhood see you around again, and they're like,
or kids from school
or whatever, but they're like, yo, my man Billy, he's crazy, man. He be skating, like he like slides down banisters, like jumps downstairs. Dude, this guy's wild, dude. He's a wild dude, man. Like the way like they'll describe or see
that's
skating,
definitely
like
a New York thing.
Yeah. It's like how some kids, like, you know, you go to the hood now and be like, yo, you the X Game kid.
Yes.
I've gotten that. And
my boy Ariel does the X Games, bro. You gotta see him. It's sick.
He be doing the rails, you know what I'm saying? It's so it was like that, and it was super cool. There was another guy in my neighborhood that skated. That this guy was just like that's the other thing. Back in the day in New York, skating was like straight up lifestyle. It was almost like hackers in a way. Like you had kids that had like ill North Face jackets with ill North Face backpack that did graffiti, that had like the illest skates with fat boys. Like, and I remember seeing this one dude, and he would just skate down my block, and just at that point, those Titan skates that I had were like destroyed. But he would just skate, and you could just hit no noise. Like that was, you know, that's what you wanted. I remember when
it's like a ninja.
Like I want skates like that, you know.
He's like
no
a graffiti
noise.
ninja.
Yeah.
That's like a really efficient way to do graffiti.
Jet Set Radio.
So he was the one, like I knew about Malali's, and he was the one that was like, oh, you should go to like Malali's, like, you know, other people, whatever, do this. And then the other thing too was that the way that I found out about aggressive skating, or just even that was there was Avon. You guys remember Avon?
No.
Moms had it. It was like a catalog that you could like buy makeup.
Okay. Yeah.
There was like a skate video in there, and it was like I thought it was like people.
What, really?
Yeah, there was like I thought it was people doing tricks, but it wasn't. It was Corey Miller and
just skating.
Pat Parnell was on it, just skating and showing you like you know how to. I think they jumped
like a rollerblade brand video.
Yeah, I think they jumped one launch ramp for a minute. Saw that, and then I got hyped. And then this one dude was like, "Oh yeah, Malali's and this and that," but I don't really go there. I don't do tricks. So I decided to go to Malali's to go. You know, there was a skate park, and it was like not far from my house. So I decided to skate there with my skates, and that's where when I first got it was not easy. I thought I was the shit, like just because I could skate around, never got on a ramp or anything.
Yeah.
No pads, nothing. Just destroying my knees, just trying to get up on a quarter pipe. And that's where I met my good friend Knuff Naiji, rest in peace. This dude is basically front flipping over like 2 stacks of garbage cans, just to dead flat, like.
And you thought jumping your sister was?
Oh, it was. No, I saw this guy doing that. I'm just like, what in God's name is going on?
Right.
Like 540 over this thing. I mean, stacking just for shits and giggles, just like 3 of them with a big smile in his face, and just to flat with old Rego TRS Lightnings. You know, not even like the ones that I don't know. They were like the first generation ones.
This is like the most Bronx.
Dude, it was crazy.
Ever.
So this is old Malali.
I feel like it's gonna get more Bronx.
I feel like
no, but it will.
I was about to.
So basically, I remember meeting Knuff, and I was like, "Yo, how you even do this?" And he's trying to explain to me, like, you just ride up the ramp, and I remember I kept jumping up the ramp and just kept bodying my kneecaps over and over. And then he's like, "No, you gotta just ride it up." And I finally kind of got it, whatever. And then after that, I went home. Skating around, those skates broke. Those Titan skates broke, so I didn't have skates for a while. I was kind of bummed. My mom didn't have money to get me skates. So, you know, everybody has the one crazy uncle.
Oh, I was about to get real Bronx. I told you.
This is this guy, you know. So this is my Uncle Jose, a.k.a. Gelo. He basically bought some skates off some homeless guy. I remember he called my mom on the phone. He's like, "Oh, Milagro. Encontré un par de patines para Ariel," and this and that. And that's basically like, you know, I found a pair of skates for Ariel. So he bought them off this homeless guy without liners. and there were a pair of not Metro Blades, Cetra Blades, the one that had like
Cetra.
yeah, like all 8, but they had the space in the
Yeah.
frame. Those I was hyped. They were rollerblades, and I didn't care if they had liners. I put my own liners in there for my other skates
from the Titans.
From the Titans, and then I went to Mulally's, and this was already weeks went by. So I met Knuff that one day, and then there was some, Knuff is always kind of going to jail every other, so Knuff got locked up for a hot minute. So I didn't see this. Like, I went to Mulally's. I was like, oh, where's this dude? He's like, oh, this dude, he got locked up, this and that.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh man, that sucks. And then I just kept going to Mulally's, but then met all these people. Like, I met this dude Omar. Don't remember his last name. Very tall guy. This dude named Kenny Concepcion. This dude Julio Rivera. AJ Padrea.
Julio. Yeah.
You remember AJ?
And Julio,
AJ
too,
Paredes.
Yeah, AJ.
Yeah.
All right, AJ. Those are the guys I met first, and then like Ozzy and Nene Tejada, their cousin Junior, and there's other cousin Bebe. But that was like, I grew up skating there with those guys. I think, yeah, for a hot minute. I remember the first Mulally contest that was there. It was like Ray and the City Skate guys. This guy David threw the contest in Mulally's, and I think that was that the first. No, it was the first one, so they weren't there yet. But yeah, but like I know the second one they had there was like Dion Anthony and like I remember those guys were in U.S. and skate. I think that was their
A
first
contest at Mulally's like that, when
Yeah,
Dan
yeah,
Anthony
yeah.
came out.
Yeah, because all those dudes used to. That was the thing. Mulally was like the hub. That was the only skate park.
Only skate park in the city,
in
right?
New York.
In New York.
So, growing up there and skating, like skating there, and then finally Knuff came back out of jail, like came home from jail. We used to skate every day. Like, I skated with that dude every day, and this guy was doing things that he was like, I don't know, it's like another Chris Edwards, but like could grind. He was just really good. He was the first person I seen do like 900s off the side of a spine, and he always skated with. That was the craziest thing to think about it now. With the cheap Sony Walkman, like the cassette, with one of those
Mhm.
and headphones.
Mm-hmm.
He skated like that. This dude used to break those things.
That's
like,
very 90s. So
Yeah.
very 90s.
They were
image
like-
So
right there.
90s.
they were
Yeah.
like $20. I'll send you. I wish I should have found a photo of him, but I remember showing a photo of him like when he started skating, and the way that you see him, you're like, wow, this is 90s skating. Like,
Like, I picture the headphones
Fly-
he had on too.
nah, but even that, but like even younger before that, like younger than that, when I first met him, he had like a flyway helmet, boneless knee pads. Like, he had he looked like, holy shit, this guy's a pro skater.
Uh-huh.
Like, the look.
Yeah.
Like, but he was also really, really good at skating. He was also, I think he was in, I forgot, one of the, I think in the skate video way back, and even in Daily Bread, like doing some stairs or something like that. But yeah, Mulally's. That was the spot, and skating with that guy, and that's where I met everybody. That's where I met Bashi, Mike, and
I was gonna say, if you met like Bashi, Mike, you met Murda there too when he was like a little baby.
oh yeah, Mike Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because people say murder. I'm just like, oh, Mike Johnson.
I say
Yeah.
Murda on the show because it's like more people
You
know
know
the
it,
name
yeah,
rather
yeah.
than Mike. There's 1,000 Mikes
Yeah.
out there.
I remember, yeah. So yeah, I grew up. It was funny actually how we met Mike. I didn't meet Mike in Mulally's. I met Mike at there was a rail called Francigo Park. It's the park that's right behind the courthouse. So if you're in front of the courthouse, the other side,
Yeah.
where it gets like the hill is
Yeah.
steeper, and there's a park. That's Francigo Park. That used to have like a really, really fun handrail. I think it's in nickel and dime and stuff like that. It was dope because it was a handicap rail, but one side was like kind of lower, so you could like you jump on it easier, whatever.
Yeah.
So I met Mike there, and he was I was there with a bunch of dudes or whatever, from Mulally's, and he was jumping on the handrail, and I was like tripping. I was like, this dude is tiny, and he has massive knee pads, and like he was fully padded, because he was like, I think his mom, he was tiny. He wasn't a big dude, but he was jumping on that rail, and I remember some kid was trying to bully him or pick a fight with him or something, and I jumped in, and basically that's how I met Mike.
Damn.
Yeah, and then after that,
It
we
was a
just
fight.
no, it never happened. It never went down. But I was about to fight the dude because I was like, why are you picking on this little kid? Just basically, the dude was jealous. It was like this little kid is jumping on this shit. And I'm like, I'm blown out. My mind was blown because I'm like, dude, this dude is tight. I was like, if this guy could, anybody,
The other kid was a skater?
the other kid was a skater,
Oh, okay.
and
I
he
thought it
was
was a
just
random person.
no, it was just a bunch of New York, old school New York session when there's like 20 deep at a handrail, and then you have some people that skate, and then some people just sit there and just
Hate.
Yeah.
just
Yeah, that's how
hate
it
and
was.
talk. So you just
Hate.
so so yeah, he was just really good for how little he was. I just remember his knee pads were like cover his whole leg. So yeah, that's how we met. Basically, I was
Wow.
like, yo, wait a minute, you're gonna try to beat up this little kid that's just crushing it right now? This is the homie, right? So that's how we became friends.
Was he better than you off the bat?
No.
No.
No, I mean he was young.
He was
I don't know,
super
but you're saying
young.
he was hitting
No.
rails and shit.
So no, I was hitting rails at that time too.
Okay.
Like he was him and Bashi were like the young dudes. Like even Bashi, I remember Bashi was coming to Malali's. It was like, who is this kid? And if you were good, real recognized real, you're gonna try to look out for that kid. So I think even with Mike, it was just like, I think I was talking to him when he was jumping on the rail, and I was like, wow, like, dude, you're pretty dope that you could jump on. Like, wow, this is impressive.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, and then we became friends, and but
I think it was pretty also, and Mike might not agree, or he might, but I think back then it was pretty known that like Bashi was a bit better than Mike back then. Yeah. It was like
it was different.
You heard about Bashi more.
Oh no, it was different. But the thing was that even before you started hearing about like Bashi, like Mike would come to Malali's, and Bashi would come to Malali's, and you see Bashi skating. Like Mike was definitely more street dude. Bashi was just like went from skating to like skating a ramp, and like Mike I don't think did the same. So Bashi was instantly like really good.
Yeah.
He had, dude, he was there was a thing in Malali's because Malali's was so sketchy. If you look at photos from back then, it's like fools are wearing literally construction gloves or garbage man gloves because the ramps were so sketched, like metal and nail and stuff. But I remember Bashi had them, and they were just so big, and just the gear. But yeah, even that was another like him. He used to show up to Malali's with some, I don't even skate, like streets or something with like basically the bearings, like skating in the bearings, and this dude is like backflipping things. And so I remember Julio at that point, like I wasn't getting like I remember we hooked him up with Julio gave me a pair of Tarmacs, and then I gave them to him. But that was later on, like before I even because I was skating Malali's even before those guys came around. Like when the whole contest happened, actually the first contest in Malali, I skated it and I had those Cetra blades. I remember jumping, like on my run, I jumped off this mini ramp in Malali's I had, and my skates broke. So it was like another thing, like, all right, I'm not gonna skate ever again. I can't afford skates. But the funny story is there was a guy that was from my neighborhood that went with me to the first Malali contest and won a ticket to like a raffle, like win a pair of skates. So he won a pair of skates, skated them for 2 days, hated them, sold them to me for like $75.
Oh.
And that's how I, kept skating.
Kept going.
The wheel kept going. But yeah, and then that's when I met like Bashi and Mike. And I remember that Julio gave me a pair of Tarmacs, and I ended up giving them to Bashi because at that point, like after the Malali contest, I was skating enough that I was kind of getting really good. And like that's where I met the Dislas there and everything, and all those guys. I think I jumped forward a bunch, but yeah.
Well, let's jump forward then, because I know Billy mentioned it at first, like the circus stuff, which is like a very interesting aspect of skating too. Not even just your skating, just in general, because people don't really do that now. I know people. Was that like a Vegas and shit?
No, they do it now.
Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil, yeah. So people like skate and stuff like that.
Yeah,
a lot of it is like ice skating, I know, though, and other random sports. But you were doing
blading.
There's blading a little bit. But you were doing like, was it Ringling Brothers?
Yeah.
Which is like, it was the Cirque du Soleil back then,
Shit. Yeah. That was really weird in a good way. But that was the same thing. Skating
Yeah. So how did that come to be?
skating Malalis. I remember. So when Knuff came back, he was doing all these like commercials and shows and stuff.
He was.
Oh, he was the real deal.
Oh yeah, he was really good. He did.
I knew he was really good, but I didn't know he was doing
Yeah,
commercials.
he was in an American Express commercial with
Wow.
Jerry Seinfeld. I think Aton was in it
Whoa.
too. Yeah.
Whoa.
They're skating through
Seinfeld,
Central
hell yeah.
Park. He did some other shows. But yeah, it was the circus. They were like, Malali's being the only skate park, and then everybody used to go there. So they used to go and practice there, or like do the practice, or like tryouts or whatever. And I was just go to the park and skate. And I'm like, oh, what's up, homies? Oh, you guys are doing that? And just skating around, just whatever. And then I remember hearing all these people are gonna go, like Eddie, Knuff was going, Junito, that was a really awesome New York skater, Joe, Ron, Hunter, just a bunch of homies.
Ryan, probably.
Ryan, like all these people were gonna go. I remember, and I was, I remember like at Knuff's house, talking to like, man, I want to go. Like he's like, dude, it'd be dope if you go. Like it's like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I want to go to, I can't, my mom would kill me. I have to finish school and stuff. And he's like, dude, I'm gonna go to school and like, I'm going to, they're gonna provide that. And I was like, oh, word, that's dope. And then
like the Ringling Brothers provide school.
Yeah, and then that same,
that's wild.
Yeah.
Imagine your company's so big it provides
Your
school for its
education,
employees.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, that day we were at his house, and I remember that day when they had practice in Malali's, and I went, and I was just skating, and skating the launch box and whatever. And one of the guys that later on became one of my guardians, this guy Eric Moore, was like, hey, we're doing this circus thing. Do you want to go on this? And I was like, I want to, but you got to talk to my mom. Like that's the number one, single Dominican mom. Like you got to try to run it through her and see if she makes this, happen or whatever. So I was like, yeah, we could do that. And I remember we set up a meeting at Chelsea Piers, and I think Ray was there. Ray was gonna translate. I think Ray was working for the lady that kind of, her and Steve O'Donnell and Eric Moore, this lady named Glinda Brown. They were the one that kind of started all that stuff, and then Ray was working for her, and then he was helping translate to my mom like what we're doing, whatever, the whole contract thing. I remember my mom seeing it afterwards. My mom saying like, "This is not real. There's no way they're gonna pay you that much to do this." She's like, "They're gonna kidnap you and take you somewhere."
How much were you getting paid for it?
It was a good amount for like, I was like 15 going on 16. I think it was like, I don't remember. It was a good amount.
Mm-hmm.
It was every week.
Probably
I was getting
more than you would get from like a regular job, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, dude. I think it was around like, I remember if I did do the math, but it was like $550 every week.
It's pretty
Oh
good.
yeah, that's really good. That's a 15-year-old.
Every week
In
there's
the
like
90s,
this,
I guess.
like this. Yeah. And this is like 90, like 90, summer of 95 going to 96, something like that. Off of the days. But
How long did you do it?
it was almost like 3 years.
Oh, that long?
You did that for 3 years?
Yeah,
I thought you
dude,
did it for like a
vanished.
season.
I've literally like, it was like I went to like some like, so much things happen in that time. But like
But what, it was like 3 months out of the year?
no, it was, you go
Full
basically
year.
you basically go 1 year and then you have a break and then you go 1 year, but you have like, you're trying and making the show almost for a year. Like you're creating
What?
something from nothing to something. Like,
What
it's
do you mean?
not-
What do you mean not, from nothing?
like it's like, all right, so Ringling Brothers, people don't like circus, especially Ringling Brothers back then. We lived on a train. That's one
a
thing.
train?
On a train. This thing was like mile long. And they owned two of them. So the thing was, it was the red unit and the blue unit. I was on the red unit. So every time the red unit was in the East Coast, the blue unit was on the West Coast, and they basically just went around the U.S. basically all over. We didn't go to Alaska
Wait,
or
so
Hawaii.
they owned trains?
Yes, and we lived in it.
So it was like Amtrak, but it was like their own thing.
Yes,
What?
That's pretty funny.
we had rooms and
Not even
everything.
buses, straight up trains.
No, full train. Like this thing was a mile.
So you were only limited to
It's a mile-long train.
The mile long, almost a mile long.
So you were only limited to going to locations that had a train station.
Right.
No, not a train station. It wasn't even had to be a train station. They would
built it.
dude.
They
You
built
know
the
where they
train
docked it?
station.
I'm just telling you. You know where.
Like Ariel, get out, build a train station.
Do you know where the train actually in New York used to park at? Like right by
42nd?
No,
Yeah, no,
Central?
like right over the bridge, the train park that's right over the 59th Street Bridge. You know how you go on the 7 train, you see that there, that area, dude, in there.
What?
Yeah, that's where they parked the train when we were in the circus.
And so you're
And people would live there.
you're
you know,
14, 15.
I was like 15,
Living on a
like
train.
going
Okay,
on
so you're
16.
15, like you're
So I-
pulled out of school in the Bronx.
Yes, and I got.
And
you know,
now you're in school with the Ringling Brothers.
it was just fun.
Wow.
But even
This is crazy.
but even like before that, I remember, you know, my mom didn't believe it. So she was like, we need to take this. We had a friend that was like a lawyer. And he looked at the paper and was like, yeah, it's real.
Mhm.
And then I remember telling like
Paper's real.
yeah, this is
Real
this is-
paper.
This
Have
is,
words on it.
Like this is for real. This is a
Yeah.
real document.
Yeah.
And then like I remember talking to my mom, and my parents were divorced at the time, and I was like, if dad said no, I'm still going. I'm signing. Like
Yeah.
this is not, you know. And I remember asking a bunch of my friends from my neighborhood, like, dude, will you do this? And like, bro, what are you even thinking about? Just to go. So, you know, did it, signed it. You know, I remember the day that we were flying to Florida to Tampa. That's where they were stationed at, and that's where they were going to create the whole show. I didn't believe it. Even when we landed in Florida, got picked up in like a bus that said Ringling Brothers on it. Didn't believe it. Pulled up to like the train where we were going to live. They didn't believe it. The room is tiny.
Yeah, it's a train.
But you know, but yeah, it was just you know.
What was actually involved in you being in the circus? Like
You had your
there's
own room though?
Oh no,
ramps.
I had a room. I shared it with Victor Calendar.
Okay, so you
Oh,
shared
yeah.
a room.
Me and Victor Calendar, and actually Junito at the time, we shared it, and it's like it was 3 per room, and the cool thing about it, the train car was a newer car, like a newer car compared to the other ones were older. It was because it was made and built for like the year before they had like a Chinese like tumbling group. So the whole thing was like the front when you walked in, it was literally looked like a diner. They have like, you know, the big fridges and stuff and freeze like the ones that you'll find in a restaurant.
Yeah,
almost,
like
a
industrial.
yeah, industrial one, industrial stove. And in the back it was like the rooms, and had a shower and 2 showers, washer and dryer in there and everything. And then you lived.
So you had like your own car.
Yeah, you lived in the in there and made your own food and.
At least you had like your own place too. At a
Wow.
15-year-old, you have like your own
Yeah.
place to live now. You're not living.
Yeah,
alone.
but the thing is, you have homies. Like that was the first time I leaving my house. So it was like
Yeah.
I learn quick of
What was the
everything.
skating like?
Yeah, what
Oh,
was
it
actually
was- it
involved
was-
in actually being in the circus? What do you actually do?
So basically the whole setup, like so again, we had to make a whole show. Like it was like, all right, a bunch of skaters, like how are we gonna do this? And the whole setup was kind of like a cross, and it a 9-foot quarter pipe you drop in. Everything was on a track too, so it's like 9-foot quarter pipe to a launch box, landing.
What do you mean on a track?
Like it was basically, dude, it was as wide as this table.
On the train?
No.
What are you
The
talking
ramp setup. The ramp setup was literally as wide, like maybe from the TV to the end of this table, maybe a little wider. But it was just like you couldn't, if you did a 540 and drift a little bit to the right,
Yeah, you're going off.
you're landing 1 foot on the box, 1 off.
Yeah.
So it's like you had to stay on the track.
So it must have been a little like
And
you know,
plexiglass.
you like signed a contract, you took the flight, you're
Yeah.
in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, you nervous at all? Like,
Oh,
can
yeah.
I skate these ramps?
Oh no,
Was there doubt?
No, it wasn't even that. I was just, the whole thing with skating, I just always wanted to skate. I just wanted to skate. So it was like I was hyped to skate this thing. Like I was like, I didn't care what it was. I'm like, I'll get used to it. I'm hyped to skate. I want to skate this.
You were probably super ninja too, because you came from skating the Malali's ramps,
Oh,
like
dude,
beat up ass ramps.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear your construction gloves anymore.
No,
right?
this thing was like plexiglass.
Yeah.
The first day we got the ramp though, I did end up getting stitches.
Damn, day one.
Day one,
That's a bad look.
basically. the ramp showed up, and they had this. Actually, this was not the first. It was like the first day we saw the ramp set up, right? And we're looking at this thing, and we're like, "Damn, who the hell built this?" Because they had handrails coming down the side of it, like for people to skate it. But then they were like, "Do we even need the handrails?" The handrails got taken away, so it was just the ramps. And again, it was like you started. It was like a 9-foot quarter pipe with the launch box in the middle, and then 2 like quarters on each side, and then went up to another, basically like a cross, and it was all on the track, and it was all plexiglass. So that's the first time I've skated something that was plexiglass. And then the way they built the ramp, it was like the landing was just, it went directly into and that's where the ramp connected. Mm-hmm. So there was like kind of like a gap, and then just went in,
went in pretty hard.
Yeah. So then it was, like I was just hyped to skate, and I was like, I'm just boom, throwing stuff off of it. Some people are falling off of it. And then I'm like, oh, I see it. I'm just going to be cautious with it. And I did a missy flip, landed weird fakie, and then like had my helmet on and like slid off the ramp. Because once your knee, like this is, boneless knee pads. Once those shells just hit that plexi, it was just ice. So I just slipped and slid off the track, and my head went forward, and I hit right here. Just missed the helmet and got up and like that. And then like everybody in the circus was freaking out. They're like,
what have we done?
Oh my God, what is going? Like, they were just trying to like. And then like I was like, no, I'm good, I'm fine. Like, all right, let's. It's like, no, you need stitches. Like, you need stitches. Someone got stitches. Then we had practice next day, and they were like, we don't think you should skate. And I'm like, why? I'm skating. I'm already skating. Like, you just hit your head, your eye. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm fine. I can see. And they're like, all right, you sure? And then I was like, talk to like my guardian, that was Eric, and this guy Steve O'Donnell, and they're like, if he's good, he's feeling good.
Send him out.
Let him do it.
So just real quick, the guardian is like someone who
these guys used to skate. Like, I know them,
but they're like,
they were my
legal
my parents.
guardians.
Yeah, they were my parents. Yeah, these 2 guys were my parents. Whoa. Like, basically, I've asked, any like,
what a trip.
Yeah,
I wanted to go skydiving or stuff like that, and it was like, I gotta talk to my guardians, and they're like, you gotta call your mom and tell your mom first.
Yeah, that's crazy. You didn't even see like your family for 3 years.
Yeah, I saw my mom. No, I got to see them. It wasn't like fully on. I had days off, or like breaks that I would go back to New York, and then
Okay, so you were
like,
able to
no,
do that.
it wasn't like that. Like, but it was young and traveling, first time traveling everywhere.
Yeah, so
you're gonna be hyped, dude. It was, I don't know. It was like a crazy adventure, and I got to see my family and talk to my family.
Okay,
but the whole thing was trippy. No, I got to see them. They came to see shows and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was more trippy, the people there, because of the fact that that's what they did. Like, that's like, I remember we had a break, and I was like telling this dude that was we used to go see the school too, and he was part of this trapeze group, and we had a break, and I was like, all right, dude, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go home and hang out with your friends? Like, I'm gonna go home. Like, can't wait to see my friends. We're gonna maybe try to go skate, this and that, see the Matrix or whatever. And he's like, oh no, we're gonna join this circus in Vegas. And I'm like, what, to do this? More of this? Because skating, it was fun. It's not like, that was like, people that have amazing talents, and it's pretty gnarly. Like, I've tried all that stuff when I was there, like the trapeze, the tightrope thing, and it's gnarly. Like, it's gnarly. Even with that net.
Yeah, it's still scary. It's a big drop.
Dude, that drop, it's not like a trampoline that it's like, it's this thing.
It's a net.
Yeah, and they're like this the whole, so you see everything where you're going. It's scary.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But yeah, it was so.
You know what they're doing without the net sometimes?
That's wild. No, there's a guy.
That's like the guy who did the Twin Towers.
No, there's that guy, actually, really fun story. The kid Junita Montserrat from the LES, really good skater. He was in the circus with us, and he started dating one of the girls that was part of that family, the Walenda family.
Of the guy who did the Twin Tower thing?
And that's what they did. And then guess what? He started doing that. He did that in the show when we were in the show, dude. Yeah. Like, the last year, he started doing it so good that they were like, hey, you want to do one with us? Mm-hmm. and then
seeing that circus shit is crazy.
and he
Like,
started doing it and became really good at it, and like I think he married the girl, and like and he did that.
mm-hmm.
He did the motorcycle thing and the bull thing.
No, he
yeah,
didn't.
that's just so
No,
crazy.
he did
Oh,
not.
yeah.
I was gonna say, Billy, have you ever been to like a circus
Dude,
like
it's
this?
gnarly.
It's been like 20 years.
But it's
Yeah,
like the
'cause
thing
maybe
I-
more.
In
the
New
thing
York,
I
you don't really
learned
do
was-
that
Yeah.
stuff, I guess. But
I went to Ringling Brothers when I was like
That's a
8
long time
or
ago,
something,
yeah.
like really young. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't think there was blading in it back then.
yeah.
They did have like the motorcycle.
The
dudes.
motorcycle thing was I remember going and there was
unreal.
like a whole BMX thing.
It's crazy,
but the
man.
motorcycle and all that stuff. I remember even
What's crazy is when they cross each
oh
other.
dude, it's nuts.
Like that,
And-
like the one guy's going this way, the other guy's going that way, sideways.
But they
And you're just
know-
like
How you not get rocked every
Yeah.
time?
these dudes, man.
they know like it's like certain it's like I think I don't know if it's first gear or second gear that they have to keep it on to do it.
yeah.
It's pretty nutty. They're like, oh yeah, dude.
Like,
can
would you
it.
do that on skates? Like, no, hell no. Some
Joe-
people would.
Joe actually
Yeah,
basically
would.
Yeah,
did, if
I mean,
think
all you
about it.
really got to do is just, keep
Just
accelerating.
yeah.
Just-
holding on. I
Dude,
bet you
there's
could
no
do
electric skates.
it, dude.
There's
I
no electric
bet
skates
if
could
you
do.
sketch on the back of a motorcycle and you had rollerblades, you could definitely do that.
Would you though?
No,
No.
me neither.
Nah,
That's
bro.
so scary.
That's like a roller coaster that I don't want no part of. That's a full blown
Yeah.
crazy ride. Dude.
It's like you think of like
it's nutty.
blading
Yeah.
next to these kind of things, and like
Yeah.
even skateboarding. It's BMX. It's all the same. It's
Yeah.
like not like it's just different. Like
Yeah.
I often think like how do you incorporate like this blading and it's like circus things, like and I saw the Cirque du Soleil. I'm like, okay, that makes sense, and
But
this makes
it's-
sense. You guys are crossing, right?
Oh yeah, we're crossing like we Missy flip under, Missy flip over,
Mhm.
all this flames.
Any kind of flames.
Flames, but the whole
Commercialized the crap
thing,
out
the
of it.
whole delusion. I remember we were there, and before we even got the ramps and like talking about us, I was like, dude, we should just jump over elephants. Line up as many elephants. Let's just do this.
Stop it.
I was
I
gonna-
swear, I was my delusions. I think Joe did me, Joe, definitely Ron, even Victor, Junito. Like
How many? Okay, two.
we were
questions.
just literally no.
I have a
We
bunch of
were
questions,
thinking
too.
of like, what is it we were gonna do? Like it's like, what is it? What is gonna this the ramp?
Oh, so you
gonna
didn't
be?
do that?
Because we didn't know the setup. Like we just go in there like, what is the setup?
Yeah,
And then
jumping elephants would be sick.
but it was like
Yeah.
it'd be sick jumping. We did the loop
You
with
don't
fire.
want the ASPCA to find out about that.
the loop.
Yeah, basically set up a loop.
What
Turn it on
loop?
fire.
Oh, like a
Oh,
ring of fire.
Like
a ring of fire.
Oh,
Sorry,
gotcha.
sorry. Yeah, just a ring.
Okay.
Light it on fire.
Like
Some of
Johnny
us
Cash.
did it. We did it during the show, a couple of shows.
That's sick.
But some of the older guys didn't want to. They were just like, it's too dangerous.
Yeah, because how can did
I
anybody
flipped through it. Like we flipped through
flip
it.
through it?
Yeah, Joe Misty through it. I think
Ooh.
I did a hand plant Misty underneath, like hand plant Misty across one part while Joe was doing a Misty flip over.
Joe who?
Did intro.
Did intro?
Oh, Joe was in the
Joe
circus
did
too?
intro was in there too.
No
Joe,
way.
Joe is
Yes.
still in the circus.
Joe
man.
is still, dude. Joe is still crushing it. Dude.
Oh yeah.
Joe
he
is
still
never.
Yeah.
That dude he could jump up high as shit.
Yeah.
He could just do it. Still
Tree
doing
Tree Tree asked in the chat right now. Are there recordings of these shows? Like,
it. Yeah,
is
you
there
can
on
find
YouTube or
it.
anything
I
like
bet
that?
you could find it on YouTube.
What would they look up?
What
What would they look up?
think just look up Bringley Brothers Red Unit 1996.
Red Unit.
Red Unit.
I gotta get you a shirt. That
I think
says
if
Red
you-
Unit.
I have
This is before
dude, I
the
actually
G
have
unit.
yeah.
This even predates the G unit.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
actually have a jacket and everything that has my name on
Really?
it and everything. I don't wear it.
You should have worn it to the show today. Come on.
My wife is like, I'm gonna start wearing it.
That's
And I
cool.
was like, do it.
That's cool that your wife tells you. My wife just starts wearing my clothes. She doesn't say anything
Oh
about it.
no, she's
Just wears it.
I got my pants gotten taken, stuff like that.
Yep.
But I love my,
Yeah.
I let it rock.
Yeah, you got to let
She's
that
the-
kind of
she's the
stuff
best,
rock.
you know,
Yeah,
you know it.
exactly. Wow. Okay.
But
So
yeah.
you go on like this 3-year mission.
like, yeah.
And how does it all end? Like, did
So
you think
basically,
it's like you're 3 years into it? You're
No,
like,
no, it's
okay,
a-
I'm gonna do this into my
no.
30s.
So-
I'm like, what's the?
So there was there were certain chances, so certain things I could have could have done, but then I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. It was some people started leaving. Joe left. Some people got kicked out. We're just doing
Just
dumb-
started being teenagers.
yeah,
These
just
kids are
things.
too Bronx for us.
Yeah, these kids
And
are
then
from the
like
Bronx. We should have been looking in somewhere else. So
I think by the end,
Should have went to New Hampshire.
I was gonna say something like that.
So I think the excuse me. I think after the first year is almost over, some people left. So it was like, oh, we need to get new people. And then came out of nowhere is Jaron Grobe. Jaron also was in Ringling Brothers.
You paved the way for Jaron Grove.
No, it was it was
And
basically-
I'm not trying to. This
It
take. I
is-
hope no one takes this as anything other than a compliment. But Jaren's style of skating is like built for like
Yes.
the circus.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So, dude,
And he
oh,
actually still does that.
He's been
Yeah,
doing it for
he's been-
years. Yeah.
That's all right. So, I remember Jaron, whatever. We went to Utah to go meet Jaron. I remember going with the dudes that were my guardians, and I was just gonna go with them just on the trip. Like then we were gonna drive and meet the train at another state. So we went to Utah, met Jaron, and I was just like, holy cow, this guy's insanely good. And then he showed me a video. I think it was him that showed me a video. But this guy Jaron has been doing shows and things like that since he was like tiny. Like he's been skating for a pretty long time too. But he's been doing shows. He was like sponsored by Airwalk and doing shows for Airwalk and like some BMX group guys and stuff like that. So he was just like built for that. The other thing they took us was to this crazy ramp that was like in the middle of nowhere in Utah that looks like, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Search for Animal Chin. It's a skateboard movie.
No.
They built a replica of this ramp in at Woodward West. This wasn't that ramp, but it was something like that. It was like a crazy vert ramp that had a launch box and a spine all in like one thing and quarters. And it was just in the middle of nowhere in Utah. Like
Is it like the kind of thing that they had like the '99 X Games, like similar?
No,
They had remember the vert in Vegas with the launch ramp.
Yes. It was basically something like
something like that.
Something like that. And the guy that built it was this guy named Mark Lowy. I'm gonna say Lowry or something, but he's from Utah, and he's the one that built that skate park. That made that skate park happen. The one that they had at ASA too. I think it was like the first indoor one.
This isn't the one in Arizona. That because that's a different.
That's
one
a
too.
different one.
Yeah.
This was in Utah, and this was like, I don't think I ever seen anybody. I seen actually John Cardiel, skateboarder guy, has a photo of him airing this box in the rain, but it was like in the middle of nowhere, and he took us there, and this dude was just crushing that thing, like he, just doing Jaron things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jaron
he was
things.
meant for that type of shit.
Yeah, dude. It was like this dude. It was just scary half of the time. Like when
Wild 900s. His
Yeah,
900s
no,
were
it's-
wild
dude,
back in the day.
The flat's been 900.
He didn't have the 9 until I remember the year after in the circus. We went to a skate park in Ohio. I don't remember the name. It was in Cleveland. It was an indoor park. They had a small launch box, and that's where he did his first 900. That quirky one that he does.
Yeah.
And it was there, and I remember him trying it for a minute before he did on the very, very small box. But that dude was just, super good. And then he was already doing ASA amateur stuff. I wasn't. And there was a guy named Bob, I forget his name, Bob Gowitz or something like that. But he was working with ASA or the AM stuff. And he got to talk to him and was like, hey, can I, you want talk to Jaron, like, hey, you want to try to go for the ASA again thing? And I remember he said, yeah. And I remember Jaron talking to him about me, like maybe doing that too. Like, so I was going to leave the circus and then try to qualify for like the ASA that was going to happen, the one that Shima won, basically. And
One of those core points, those core bleeding points back.
No, I was just like, I was kind of getting tired at that point. That was like kind of the second year I was getting tired of it. It was just you doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Even when you don't want to skate, you have to skate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get hurt.
It changes the dynamic pretty
It's
from like going out to skate and have fun with your
More of a
homies.
job at that point.
it's a job.
It's a
job.
job.
Yeah. It became a job.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of things when people say like,
If you want to stop loving something, make it a job.
no.
3 years. 3 years is a long time, though.
I was gonna say that's with everything. You want to like really hate something you love,
Yeah.
make it your job. But yeah, that I when it was happening, I was having fun. Like I remember having a list, or this girl that was in the circus with us. Her name, she was the only girl. Her name is Laura LePay, and she was part of like the whole old school Boston scene. I think she's in Hoax too. But I remember we had a list of all the skate parks like that we were going to, and that was like super fun because she had her car too. Like some people had cars, like they lived in the train, but they didn't go like town to town on the train. They just drove there. So sometimes I'd just jump in her car with her and Joe. Like her and Joe used to date, Joe Dentro. So, you know, every time going everywhere and Joe skating with Joe every day, different spots. But then when Jaren got there, it was like me and Jaren would just skate every day. Like there was times that we were able to put like the ramps for the circus were very easy to put together. There was like a big Lego pieces and they have wheels. You could push them, lift them, whatever, drop. And then there's pins to pin them. Like we used to set them up, me, him, and just skate it together. Just I have like really shitty
Off the
photo-
clock.
Just off the clock. Just because it was like our own skate park. It was like you're in the middle of nowhere where there ain't shit to skate.
That's pretty cool that you could do that. You had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. So learned a lot of shit there, just skating with that guy.
Was there in 3 years? Was there any like crazy non-skating related stories? Like, were you come up on like a Bengal tiger like attacking like an elephant or something like that? Like,
not yet. I'm gonna tell you the most craziest. It was this was crazy. So there was a lot of elephants. Elephants are scary. They're beautiful.
Were the elephants on the train too?
Yeah.
How?
Dude, I don't know,
girl.
bro. That's why everything. That's why
elephants aren't that tall.
The elephants pull the train like
big, dude. Elephants.
Wait,
tall.
elephants are huge.
They're big, dude. And elephants are really beautiful, but they are because the thing is like I think an elephant.
They're huge.
Yeah, but an elephant looks at you.
Elephants like the height of the door frame right there. Like,
I don't think it'll make it through there. Through that door frame?
Yeah, I'm saying like elephants are
they're big.
Elephants are huge,
dude. So the thing with elephant, it's like I think they think they have the same strength as they like. So they're like the way that they push things and do things. I remember they got a hand of like a baseball I had, and it threw it at something like really, really hard. I almost got in trouble for it.
It threw it?
It threw it.
Why the elephant's jacking your shit?
It was just like it fell to
The
where
elephant was from the Bronx.
It was to this area where they they were chilling. But no, it was one day we had practice and we had practice after this guy, his name is Gunther Gable Williams. He was like, I think he was German, and he was, he's you could Google him. He's like renowned like circus animal guy,
Tamer,
yeah.
Tamer.
And one day we're like, before those, they put up the big, like in the middle ring, the big cage is like inside that thing, and it's get lifted up by the pulley, and it's like, cover the whole thing, and all the tigers are in there. And tigers, first of all, are massive. They're massive. So we have like we used to use these stunt mats. That's funny you guys saw it, but $2,000 on something what's it, Alibaba, you could get the stunt mats.
That thing?
That guy the video the guy that showed
2 rags?
2 rags.
For a big airbag.
A big airbag. So no, we had
cool.
we had these big airbags, and like we used to chill on and lay down, wait for this dude to finish with doing all the stuff with the tigers. So we're just sitting, laying down. It's like me, Victor. I don't know who else, but I just remember it's Victor, like just because he was really like on the other one, and I'm over here, and like, this guy, like they just dropped the cage with all the tigers, not inside the actual home. Like basically it's like, imagine this ring is full of tigers, and they're like, all right, we're just gonna drop this whole cage down. So then it's just like literally, we thought, like I looked, I was like, oh Victor, they're done. And I looked and I was like, oh no, I like, Victor, don't move. And he's like, why? I was like, dude, this guy literally just dropped the cage with the tigers loose. And then the tigers just literally roaming around us, and he's just like, don't move, this and that, and like. And then he just started calling one tiger at a time, and the tiger would come and just go into his cage.
Yeah, I would imagine they'd be kind of trained, but that's still crazy.
I seen this guy. It's him. It's like his, his father, and then the son. But the father was like, these animals knew something, because every time he came into the building, they went crazy, and then he would just call their name, and they just like, whoop, like it was a good dog. It's
like Chris Pratt in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and it was just like, but it was. I remember me and Victor being there and just being like, just insanely shook. There's just like, there's just loose tigers that could just eat us.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they're just like, don't move.
No, he just didn't even say don't move. He's like, oh guys, you're all right, you're all good, and this and that, and he just like starts calling Simba, this and that, and just they just one of
Simba.
Yeah, they had all these. He had all they all have names. They remember all their names, all the elephants, everything. Like this guy had like the father had like I think it was like a cheetah that he used to like put around his like neck like it was like a scarf, and it was like
cheetah skin.
Like no, it was a real live cheetah, dude.
But it was
live,
like young,
yeah.
right?
Live cheetah, like young, like, but it was like became to like this dude like supposedly like cried like crazy like when that animal died. Like,
Oh yeah.
he was like
Family.
one of these guys that was like very, about his animals and
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the
I mean,
craziest.
you gotta be if you're gonna
Yeah,
get them to be
That's
obedient.
their
like that.
lives,
Yeah.
pretty much.
but that was like one crazy thing. The other thing that used to always happen was like you used to line up like when the show started. You lined up on the left side, and then you had like all the animals were coming on the right side, and you'd be standing up, and the trainers, like the elephant trainers, knowing that like they'll just mess with you, they'll go like this to you, and you're thinking it's an elephant. You're like,
Dang.
trying to catch you, but
Elephants probably aren't going to do anything though.
I seen a
You
guy
probably crush your arm.
Yeah,
Unintentionally.
I
yes.
seen a guy get kicked in the chest by a horse. That was another one.
Whoa.
during
Like the
that-
back kick?
dude.
I love this podcast, by the way. I love this.
By a
Yes.
Clydesdale. By a Clydesdale.
Oh my
Oh my
god!
God.
Not by a regular horse, dude. A Clydesdale. They were just doing-
Clydesdale are like the old
No,
like
the
Budweiser.
Budweiser.
joints.
Yeah.
Have you
Their
ever
feet
seen?
are like this.
But yeah, we're doing
Those
that.
thoroughbreds, like I think that's what they're
Yeah,
called.
yeah.
Like thoroughbreds.
But yeah, when they're doing that opening thing, you're going around, you got too close, and somehow they just decided.
Yeah, you don't want to be behind a horse or like
No.
a donkey or something like
No. But yeah, the other thing that was funny was like every time if the elephants peed somewhere and you got it on your wheels, forget about it.
It smelled really bad.
No, you just can't see. It's like ice skating on plexiglass. It's just like some people used to be like this. I'm out. I am not in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say you could tell when the elephants pee because it's like the perfect storm, like big waves.
No, it was constantly smelly. Tigers like to pee from their tail lifts and it just shoots out like a water. And their pee smell pretty bad. You got hit by them. Dude, it was just crazy things used to go down, dude. I remember there's a guy named Steve Osmond, and a lot of bets used to go down, like just silly make people do things or whatever. But this guy, Steve Osmond, we made a bet, or somebody, I wasn't involved in this bet, but I think it was this guy named Marcel, another Boston guy, before Hakeem and those guys, or maybe before Hakeem. But they bet him to drink hippo drool, like drool from a hippo.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a good idea.
He got sick.
Oh, he got insanely sick. I think he won like $1,000, but he got sick.
Wasn't worth it.
Not worth it.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole gallon.
Jump Street top tip: don't drink
No,
hippo spit.
But just really crazy things. Like I used to go with the other younger kids. There was this kid named Dennis that was from New York. He was part of this what they're called, unicycle like group, like troupe from New York. They're actually pretty famous.
Animal?
No, they doing was it unicycle?
Oh.
Like a unicycle group. They're known from New York. They've been in the Big Apple Circus like a bunch of times and all this stuff. But he was young and everything. But all the young dudes, we used to just find things of what to do. And one thing was just climbing on, setting up these stump mats and climbing up to the top of arenas and jumping off into the stump mats.
Wow.
Yeah, people get bored on that shit, I'm sure. After all the years of doing whatever.
You just thought, yeah, things like that.
Well, that sounds. That was a eye-opening. That's crazy.
And we just talked 40 minutes about the circus,
Look at
and
that.
I'm not mad about that because that was pretty
No.
funny and entertaining.
But yeah.
So wow.
And then after that, it was I came home, I think, for a year, and then Detour happened, and that was another weird or funny one. It was me and
So right after the circus, straight to Detour.
yeah, but that was way
ASA
super
tour,
fun,
Detour.
super fun. Way better than the circus. It was Chris Edwards.
Mhm.
That was
Was he paying people? No.
no, they were. We were getting paid.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How was he paying people? I feel like he,
Bro,
because
he
it was
invested a lot of
it
his
was
money.
money.
it was
a lot
all
of
personal.
his money.
I mean, bro, he
ESPN money. ESPN.
Edwards became like, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he actually
Dude,
made
he's
over
funny.
$1 million
Yeah.
from
Mhm.
being a pro skater.
Mhm.
Being in
Yeah.
Airborne,
Yeah.
Acting in Airborne, doing like all the stunts.
The main guy for
like, the main guy
Rollerblade.
for the stunts. Like
Yeah.
He
all
was
the,
another
all the pro skates, like
Yeah.
the chocolate, the trooper, the CI5, the Daytona,
Mhm.
whatever. It went
All
on and
the-
on.
yeah.
The lightning.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, from what I heard, he used to like he
was the man.
reinvested all of that into blading. Like Detour was,
Yeah.
you know, we talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
It was years long. Like
he was basically, that's another dude that would always down to give money to people to try crazy shit on rollerblades.
I got $100 for this crazy trick.
John Ortiz, that kink rail, I think that was what, like 500 maybe. Like, but it's like he was always that guy. It was like, if you do this, I'll give you this much or whatever.
Can you still do that, Chris? Can we
but no, he
had the Frankie imitation.
He did it too much.
So can't do it.
So I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
So that the Detour was like one of the RVs belonged to Rollerblade, and the other one he bought himself. And that's how we like used to tour around. But even how I got on it, it was like after the circus, it was like, all right, what I'm gonna do? I guess I'm gonna skate these ASA things or ASAMs or whatever. And then like you know, Robert Disla, like I grew up with those guys, like skating vert and street with those guys, skating their backyard vert ramp. And me, we were always super close, being Dominican and stuff like that. I used to hang out at their house, like go Friday, stay there till Sunday type thing. But one day I called Rob, and you know, they always had cars. Like these dudes always, as kids, they always had cars. So I remember calling Rob and be like, yo, Rob, you want to go to this contest? It's in Providence. And he's like, I don't have money. And I was like, dude, I have money. Like, I'll pay for gas, whatever. Let's do it. And he's like, all right, bet. So he ended up meeting in Malali's. We drove there, and the contest was at Jeremy Panicchini's skate park.
Impact.
Mm-hmm. That was like Panicchini family and Kevin Robinson. So they had like a really fun park. They were the shit. They used to just like the family they were awesome. Was like love skaters. So they were gonna have a contest there, like a ASAM, and Detour is gonna be there. John Ortiz was on Detour at that point. I think Bergeron and some other people. And so we drove up there. We were like gonna try to stay somewhere. We couldn't find like where to stay. So I remember Chris Sever was like, "Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up, Rob? What's up, this and that?" It's like, yeah, you know, we came here for the contest tomorrow. He's like, but we don't know where to stay. He's like, oh, everybody's staying over here or whatever. Do you guys want to crash in the RV? And I was like, bet, perfect. So, you know, sleep there, wake up the next day as a contest. I got first, Robert got second. And then there was a best trick contest. I got second, Robert got first. We were both hyped. They're like, dude, we drove up here. You know, it was a good trip. It was a perfect trip. And then like I think John was like, yo, Chris Edwards saying, I was asking me if you know, I think he asked Robert too, like if you guys want to come on Detour, like, and I was like, I'm down. Like I got to go home first, but that, you know, like I think the next stop was like somewhere in Vermont or something like that. So I went to Vermont and then went on Detour, and it was like me, Brian Bell, who else? Don't remember who else.
Bashi was there, right? Frankie
was there. Frankie. Dude,
I heard like Omar Wysong jumped on for
Omar
a bit.
was on it. I wasn't on it when Omar. So that was a cool thing. It was like we were like on and off.
Interchanging.
Like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was like, you know, there was a time it was me, Frankie, Nicky Adams, Pat Lennon, John Elliott, Morgan Pesco. I think that's it. But yeah, it was like, it was the shit, dude.
That's a sick crew.
That's a stacked crew. And it was like the funniest thing. I remember the day we picked up John Elliott. Again, I don't watch that many skate videos, so I didn't really know who John Elliott was.
You still don't watch many skate videos.
No, I don't. So I thought it was like, literally, I thought it was like, oh, is he this guy? I remember talking to Chris and like, is he related to like Jake Elliott or something like that? And then
I think I thought the same thing too in the beginning.
Yeah. But then like we picked him up, me and him hit it off, and the first thing this dude did, we went to get gas for the RVs, and then this dude just 180, like this massive, like it was like like just a big gap, like at a gas station over like the metal barriers, like over rocks to another parking lot. But yeah, we, you know, hit it off, came homies, and you know, all those dudes actually, you know, Chris Padilla was another one.
You live like half your life on tour.
Yeah, I was like a lot living out of my bag. I was basically a straight up like vagabond, just everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, I did that.
And in that time, like during that time, like skating did so much changing.
Oh, that was the other thing too. Is like even coming from the circus to coming back home, it was like all my friends stopped. Like Ozzy and Nana stopped. So it was like different every time. It was like it was different people or different generations.
Keeps it fresh too.
That I was skating with every time. Like even now, you know, I skate with Torres and Augusto and
Bodega Boys.
Yeah, and before that,
Shout out Bodega Boys.
Bodega. And then before that, it was some other heads, like, you know. And then sometime it'd just be like I would just work so much. It would just like underground days. I remember going there. I remember Mel worked there, and I just call Mel. I'm like, "Yo, you there tonight?" He's like, "Yeah, all right." And I used to just go at 9 when it closed. Those
were the best time to skate.
That was
at the underground.
The underground. That was like best time.
Mm-hmm.
That was that was good time. That place.
Yeah, I love that. I had the key there. Me and Ronald had keys.
Yeah.
So
the gatekeepers.
Oh man, it's so good in the winter.
Yeah,
like winter. Would you just go there?
Oh, it's the best.
Everyone's freezing, can't skate, snow and stuff. It's nice.
We would skate at like the best sessions were like 10 p.m. to like 3 a.m. or something like that. Those
I
like,
lived so far.
Got wild.
That was so far from me.
I was out of control.
Yeah.
The Detour thing was the other thing about Detour and Chris Edwards and all the stuff that like that traveling actually worked, dude. Like all the touring and going into all these like skate parks gotta work because of the fact that so many people, you know, came from like one day it was a Blading Cup. I didn't know Cam. I find out I didn't know Cam, but I actually knew Cam. Cam came up to me and was just like, "Hey," like we were sitting down. He's like, "Dude, I don't know if you remember me, but you know, you came to Montana years ago." And then I was like,
Cameron Talbot.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Holy cow, you're that kid. You're the little kid. You're your friend." And then I was like,
"Do you remember?"
I remember him and everything, dude. And Frankie was there too. And like
on the Detour.
I remember we were like having a contest, like who could drink like Yoo-hoo faster, like a bottle of Yoo-hoo or something. But yeah, him and his friends in Montana, in Missoula.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that was like he was tiny.
Little 10-year-old Cam with dreads.
But him and like a bunch of all the other kids, like I remember judging them. Like, you know, I hate judging, but I remember doing that. And a lot of these kids are like, I think Sneaky was maybe one of those at that skate park up there in Spokane. Like all those dudes are super good. That's fun too.
You can tell that too when people are young like that, especially like on tour. People like stand out, you know, and they become these people that like, oh shit, that makes sense now. Like you were fucking killing it since you were a little kid.
Who's that kid? Yeah. Even like at Airborne, like Don Bombrick, him and other kids that came from there were like that. I remember judging even was it Ben Weiss, you know, at a contest. With like Michael Radebog was another one. Like
man, you was judging Ben Weiss early,
dude.
Ariel's the judge.
But yeah, I hated it.
Judge and jury.
I used to always like hated that part. Every time Chris was like, "Come on, you gotta judge." I'm like, "No, dude, I don't want to judge. It's not fun. I just want to skate."
It's hard being a judge. Too.
Yeah,
a lot of pressure.
It's a thankless job.
Yeah,
but that that thing of going on skate tour, I think it works, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Holy moly. So like we're now just
it's funny because I could just I could talk for days.
No, it's awesome. No, that's what's awesome.
Dominicano.
We got the stories. You got the stories.
Hablamos español.
Aquí.
Yeah. I've just been skating forever, dude. You know, I've been doing it for a minute, and just I love skating and
you've been around always.
You know, I just keep it humble.
No breaks,
like
really.
Just be humble and I don't think I could stop skating. I'm too much of a fiend. Like I've gotten hurt, and
you would have already probably if you were gonna stop.
Yeah, like I've gotten hurt, and I just try to like make myself better so it doesn't happen, or you know, fix this one thing, or you know.
Yeah, what do you have? Because what like tips do you have for like OG skaters and stuff? Because you've been skating forever.
Stretch.
You're how old? You're how old?
Oh, here we go with Austin again.
43.
You already said,
but
you called me old. You didn't even know my age before, bro.
I know he's calling you old. He doesn't even know.
I know you're level 4. I know that. But I'm saying like you skate like a young guy. You keep up with all the young guys. You're still competing. You skate like a fucking bat out of hell. Like you go full speed.
If you don't use it, you lose it. That's the number one thing. If you don't use it, you use it. The other thing was I remember learning. First time I did yoga, it was like I was 25 in Miami, and that was the thing that helped a lot. And then
do you still do yoga?
Yeah, you see me stretch.
I see you stretch. You eat
And
a lot
it's-
of bananas. I know that.
I know that. A lot of, yeah, I know that. Yeah, but a lot of
Potassium.
banana, now it's a lot of vitamin. I do everything. If you've seen the stacks of vitamins and stuff that I take. But yeah, I just kept doing it. I
Just
think
stay
if
consistent.
you keep doing it, you're not, I think once you stop doing, I have friends like that haven't done it in a while, and seeing them skate now, it's just like, ooh,
Yeah, it's rough.
it's painful. But if you keep moving your body, your joints won't lock up to,
Yeah.
like,
Keep it moving.
you keep it moving. That's
Keep it
all.
moving.
I skate I skate all kinds of skating. I skate big wheels. I've done a marathon
Yeah.
on skates. Like, even when I can aggressive skate, I go skating. I'll do big wheels. I'll go do a couple of laps around Prospect Park or something like that.
Yeah. Speaking of switch somewhat, you
Got the one uphill part of the park though. I hate.
It's the worst.
I hate that. You got the
Oh,
one
it's
part of the
worst.
park prospect that's
It's
so
the worst.
fun.
I want to
You just ripping down it,
and the ground is awful.
Yeah.
On the other side too.
Yeah.
It's awful.
that doesn't sound fun.
No, it's bad.
Well, I was cycling on it a
Yeah.
lot, so it's okay.
Oh,
on a bike,
yeah.
But yeah.
Much easier on a bike.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But speaking of skating, not just like aggressively stuff, the big wheel shit too. This kind of falls into both, but like you won the powwow
Yep.
snake run. Is that what it's called? A snake run contest, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Have you won
yeah.
it more than once or just
No, just that one time.
this is that one time? But you
I-
go.
It's
like,
a race, right?
Yeah, it was like a downhill, like crazy race.
Yeah, anyone knows the Kona downhill
it
snake
was just
run.
so many
thing.
people got body that first day.
That's
they
what it's
did
known
that.
for. It's known for people
Dude,
just getting rocked.
body.
The Kona powwow snake run
In
contest.
body.
People just get rocked.
We got to bring that. Like, I think because
I like it. I can't
It's
lie.
important.
Not there, but it could be somewhere else. Like somewhere else with just like I think Cameron and these guys and like Garcia,
Mhm.
Garcia and Cam, who else? Taylor and all those dudes were gonna do. I don't know if it happened, but they were gonna do a downhill crazy race, and I remember it said is like no contact until this many feet or something.
Wow, so you're in contacts encouraged?
Like, dude, that's you don't want to make contact when you're going that fast.
That's like derby at that
Yeah.
point too.
But the
I
downhill.
like those kind
yeah.
of things though. That's entertaining. We got to like.
I mean, it is entertaining.
you got to
yes.
keep in mind like the entertainment value.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
contests are
people
for.
like it.
That's why the
viewers'
snake run is so
entertainment.
entertaining.
That's why they're there, so people can go and be entertained.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm surprised the powwow snake run isn't like more globally
thing.
recognized, not globally recognized, but just recognized even throughout the skate world. If someone made a sick video of
it.
the
Race
proper
over there.
video of the downhill snake run contest, that would be entertaining to anybody, no matter who you are watching it. You know,
There's somewhere, I think it's somewhere in Russia somewhere. There's like, have you ever seen a video of the craziest, like it looks like the ice bowl, like the Red Bull ice crasher things, but it's rollerblading?
I saw like clips of not people actually doing it, but people just running the course of it.
Oh, okay.
I never saw the actual
No,
event.
But that would be super fun. I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
That
be.
sounds like a good time.
I wouldn't be shocked that it's happening in Russia because like have you seen
There's
like
a lot,
it's like
dude.
I'm like a combat sports fan. I like boxing and
Yeah,
MMA and
MMA.
stuff like that.
Are you talking
And
about
in Russia they got like these crazy like MMA organizations. They have like 5-on-5
Yeah, dude.
at the
I've
same
seen
time.
that.
And if one guy gets like knocked out, like two guys just start going beating up
Oh my God.
another guy.
Whoa.
It's nuts. Yeah, so I can
Or it's
see-
like two on one, all that stuff. The slapping.
they
You've
have
seen
like
that?
the slap
The
thing.
slap.
have you seen the phone booth one?
Oh no.
What's
They
the
literally
phone booth one?
put two guys in a
really-
phone booth and
I
they
can-
fight.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I can see that.
What?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
I
Yeah.
I see, dude. The slap, dude, is wild. I see
Dude,
the,
the two
the
people in a phone
slapping
booth.
one is crazy.
It's
dude.
crazy.
That's
Oh, the
dude.
slap one.
Yeah,
Dude,
dude. They're like
Schwarzenegger
holding-
was that one.
No.
Yes, I saw like the slapping one, and
It's-
some guy got dropped from
Dude,
just
it's
standing there
bad.
getting slapped.
Oh, is that
I've
just where they
s-
slap off like?
Yeah.
face to face? Okay, I've seen those before.
They're like
Yeah.
holding on like
That's
this.
like, I think,
almost-
There's people behind them like holding them in case.
Yeah, I
they
don't think
fall.
that's a Russian thing. I think that
That's
maybe
some-
started there, but
yeah.
it's happening everywhere now.
They're
Yeah.
putting resin on their hand. Too.
Yeah, yeah,
like
they have
that's-
the chalk
Yeah,
and
like
shit.
they're bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're weightlifting.
like the
You
Big
know-
Lebowski.
Yeah.
What was the movie with Mike Epps and he's like he's slapping people, but he needs a is it how high?
Yeah.
He's like, let me get my baby powder. I'm slapping
My
my
baby
face.
powder.
in the face.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, we kind of went off topic there, but
Yes.
there was something I wanted to talk to. So we talked about your beginning. We talked about the circus a bit. We talked about Detour, and you've been going on forever, like skating, still competing. But how long have you been working with Rollerblade? You've been had a
years.
relationship with Tom for a long time, right?
Even before Tom, there was I got sponsored by a Rollerblade before the circus, and it was me. It was
damn.
it was like an AM thing, but it was me, Joe DeDentro, the Dislas. Well, it's Herbert, I think. Herbert McTish. I can say his last name, but Junito Montserrat. But we were all on Rollerblades, and this is before the circus. And there was a guy named he was like a rep. Back in the day, you got sponsored by reps, and there was a guy named Pete Beatty. That was the rep guy for Rollerblade. I still remember that dude's name. But he was the one that put me on, and this is like Jesus, 93, something like that. 93, 94. No, 94. Yeah, and then skated for them, and then did the circus, and then after that, like skated just random skates around, and then I met, was it Corey Miller at like a contest, and then like started getting like some skates, like some Dirks and stuff like that. And then, you know, I knew Frankie from Detour, and then I think I met Santiago Esparua at ASA or something, but we were all homies. And then I moved to Miami, so I would skate with those guys a lot, and Padilla, and like Ricky Martinez, and like Robert Arias, John Garcia. But all these dudes were like super good. That's when Alex Brasca was out there too. But we all skated together. We actually had a crew called Pati Nation, we used to call ourselves, because we were all Latin dudes. I think John Craven.
Pati Nation?
Pati Nation, yeah. I think John Craven.
God.
John Craven.
Sounds like an Instagram account.
Yeah. John Craven and Brasca were the only ones that were not Latin, but they were still down. They were the homies.
Nice.
But yeah, even at that time I was skating rollerblade. I was in like, you know, I get flown or get paid here and there for certain things or whatever. And then after that, they made that skate, that TRS Lightning skate, the soft boot skate. Like I couldn't skate that skate. Like it just killed my feet. And I remember telling Corey Miller, I was like, hey, I can't skate this skate. Like when you guys make a hard boot skate, like, you know, I'll skate for you guys again or whatever. But they always looked out for me, like, you know. So then years went by, and then Tom started working for Rollerblade. And that happened through Robert Guerrero. It was basically me and Robert.
That's right.
Yeah, skating a lot. And Robert's like, oh, you should come to Philly with me. And then Tom was there, and they had the skates, and Tom was showing them to me. He was like, hey, do you want to try these? And because you're very handy with stuff. Like, so I skated them, the prototype, like regular, like, was it Fusion or the Solo? The Solo. That boot. Skated that and like testing it and everything. I think I even did like a big ad thing for them. It was like me, Tom, and John Ortiz. But then after, you know, just from there, just like, hey, you want to skate for Rollerblade? And you know, I've worked helping them with like help design stuff from the new skate, even to the twister liner. Yeah, they just always looked out, you know, with like this the only company that actually like been like that I've dealt with professionally, and they always kept it professionally. And
it's a long relationship too. I didn't realize it was that deep.
I've even at the president from Rollerblade, I've known that guy since I was a kid. They used to, you know, they're from New York.
They're from the Bronx.
What's his name?
Dan Stonier. I mean, Dan Stonier is his brother, Jeremy Stonier.
Jeremy, yeah.
So I know Dan and Jeremy, and then even Ronnie that works for Rollerblade. They're all New York heads. So Ronnie used to work at Paragon. So I know all these guys for years, and before they were even heads up at Rollerblade.
Yeah.
So there's always a relationship somehow.
I remember Dan, like when I first met him, I was like, because especially back then, I needed to know like if you were from New York or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like a big deal to me. Like, where you from?
No, I
remember once because I was sus where he was from, and I was like, where are you from, bro? And he was like, the Bronx.
Yeah.
So go fuck yourself. I was like, damn, he got me.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, that's
Excuse my French. I try not to curse on the podcast.
But no, that's how I got on been on Rollerblade. It's just that relationship that I've had with them for years, and yeah.
And he's still been doing trips and everything with them now, skating with Cameron, Sean, all these guys.
Yeah.
And he's still keeping up with them too.
You know, I try. It's kind of funny in a way. I feel like it's easy. I don't know. I think it's just I've done it so many. So I was talking my father-in-law, Dave Sullivan. He's a big fan. So we were hanging out this past weekend, and he was like, "Oh, how is it? How is it you do it?" It's like, "Oh, it's like I just been doing it for years. Like I think I could skate better than I could walk.
Yeah.
Like
It's such a part of you.
yeah, it's like a one. I've fallen asleep with my skates on, and like
What I've noticed about you when you're skating? When we skate, you just like jump right into it. I feel like you almost don't even. You probably stretch, I guess you say.
No,
but you,
I
like,
stretch and I get super warmed up. But
you just jump right into it. Like I feel like I skate, I gotta like cruise around a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe do like put my soul plate on the ledge or something like that. You just like jump right in, you go.
I just try not. I try not to think a lot when I'm skating. That's the other thing. Especially even skating. I like skating bowls because of that. You have to
More
just,
instinctual.
yeah.
Mhm.
So even if I'm stretching, I'm feeling good. Like I'm just gonna go.
Overthinking is not a good
yeah,
thing
it's
in
not,
skating.
never.
More acting. Yeah.
Yeah, more doing, not
Cueing.
acting. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm always. I don't know. If I'm warm, dude, I'm ready to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you I think in a little bit we're gonna open it up for some questions. Open it up to this crowd. But before we do, just want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Blank. And if you're watching live, you're watching now, hit the like button.
Yeah.
Hit the like button.
Comment, share.
Get this new pigeon skates
That's
colorway. I can't wait to get
the
mine.
Team Skate
Jeez,
2023
I
Pigeon
wanna-
Blue
I wanna-
colorway. Looks
wait.
like.
Pigeon blue is a very New York.
And get a pair of
color description.
Get a pair of Sean Keens so you could switch it up.
And support Sean Keane too.
Yeah.
Huge shout out, Sean
Because he
Keane.
needs as well. Check out blankrollingproducts.com for more info.
Jump Street alumni, Sean
Yeah.
Keane.
Sean Keane, yes.
Great guy.
He has a
Fantastic
very
skater.
very nice mullet right now. We had a team
Oh,
like
look
chat.
at Billy.
Oh,
Working with his business model.
I don't the hair doesn't grow anymore. Remember I had big hair once.
Well, you could probably
You
do.
get that, bro.
You could probably
Yeah.
do just mullet.
Just the back.
Just the back.
I thought about it. Just
Just mullet.
just Seagal
Yeah.
on the back.
No party
Just
in the
like
front.
that.
Yeah.
Just
the
no,
back.
Nothing in the
business
front. Party in the back.
Yeah.
It's
It's an option.
Yeah.
Think about it. Just think about it. Go back home, talk to the wife about it, bounce it back and forth.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Kelly. I'll see what Kelly. I'll text you.
I gotta run these things past the wife as well.
Oh no, you know how it is.
I know how it is.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
So,
I was gonna do the mullet actually earlier, but my wife
she
said,
was-
"Can you not for the wedding?"
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, I'll wait till after."
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with shaving.
Wedding pictures with a mullet.
Yeah.
Kids be like, when was this? 70s?
Yeah.
You're like,
They still want,
2020.
No, that was 2022 actually.
I think I was going to go. I remember I was going to go on a crazy snowboard trip with Jacqueline, and she was like, "Can you not do that this year? Can you just wait till the wedding?" And I'm like, "Why?" It's like I just don't want to see you with a cast or.
Oh, the trip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that
I've had friends
it
that
was-
say
it
shit like
was
that
like
too.
that.
that's
Yeah.
what Corey was asking too.
But I was
She's
like,
like, "I want you," because I would go out skating, I'd come back, I'd be limping all over the place, and like,
Yeah.
oh, my back, my
Yeah.
leg, holy moly. She was like, "It'd be great if you could just like,
Chill.
walk down the aisle.
Yeah.
That'd be nice." I was like, "Okay, that's a good point. I'll try to keep that." in
At
mind."
least guys are mostly like covered, like arms and pants. Like when you get married, you
Yeah.
wear like a suit and shit. So like,
Yeah,
you're
no,
gonna be
but-
like cuts on
But
your
you don't
stomach.
want to show
No,
up
but
like
she meant like
limping.
be able
Yeah,
to
yeah,
like
yeah,
walk
yeah,
down.
yeah,
Yeah,
You don't want to be like
just take
on,
a
like,
shit ton of ibuprofen and just
Right.
be like,
You have,
I'll
like,
thug it out.
a walker. You don't
Shot of Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Right?
Ew.
Ew.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels. That's just-
Ew.
Yeah,
Ew.
no.
Ew.
Sorry.
Who would
Not a
drink
fan.
that?
I'm a tequila guy.
Mm. Nice.
So, you guys gonna answer? What questions is happening?
No, we're good.
I did want to talk to you about one more thing.
Yeah.
Dude,
Just-
I could talk all day.
just more-
so
we
I
can
just-
too.
you go.
This is-
All right.
Yeah, we'll open up for questions in a little bit. We're like an hour and a
Alright.
half in, but I just want to talk about now, just because you're skating, like you said, your crew changes all the time. People you skate with, you skating with the Bodega Boys now. Mike Torres, Christian Gelfino, Justin Brosco, all these guys, and it looks like it brought like some
Yeah.
more life back into your skating.
Yeah.
Before now, you're like, filming for videos a lot. You're part of the last couple Bodega Boy videos. So what's it been like skating with those guys and filming and shit again now?
You know, younger dudes that could skate very well. So you're gonna definitely try to. I know how to do the tricks. I've done the tricks. It's just basically who's gonna bring it out of me.
Yeah, the energy.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. No, it's like I think I filmed with you before,
Yeah.
or even things that
I don't
like,
bring it out of you.
Well, you do sometimes, but like I don't like watching myself skate. I don't watch videos. I don't even watch my videos of me skating.
Why not?
When I don't know. It's just something. I'm not the one that's gonna watch it. Other people are gonna watch it. I think it's more a feeling when I'm skating. It's like skating with Mike, for example, even with Taylor going on rollerblade trips, like they know that I could do certain things, so they'll tell me like, you should try this, and I'm like, all right, cool. Or they're like, oh, Ariel, you think you got this? And it's like, yeah, I think I could do it. But it's because I could do the tricks. I just don't know for what I know what I like doing and what's fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
But what people want to watch, or it's it's like I can do back royales all day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's film that. It's just
and skating's always evolving.
Yeah.
In what's like in the zeitgeist and what's like cool or acceptable. Maybe a spot that like you can skate now we wouldn't have seen the same way 20 years ago. So.
Because of all the different stuff, even back then till now, dude, the way the skates are, like you could do way more things on skates now than back then. Like, what was it? I think it was like a trick you did that I saw somewhere, I don't know, with wheel scene or whatever, that you had discussed with that guy. And it was what is it? Like you're doing a royale and your heel is up,
like a toyale.
You know what we used to call that?
AWOL, whatever. What do you
we
call
used to call that literally John Ortiz with oxygen. Used to call it a soyale because it was like a fuck up. Because you're messing up.
I think that's why we used to call it a toyale back in the day, because it was like a soyale, but you would lean so far on your forward.
But it was a mess up. It was like a trick that came from a mess up, and people started doing it. And then like Harold Vivas from Jersey, was the one that was crushing those.
Dude, he was such
like I don't even see
beyond his time.
Yeah, he was
beyond his time.
He's still an animal.
Go
too.
back,
he's still crazy.
Watch the video. But watch him skate the 13
the
banks and the things he was doing.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, Harold Vivas, the guy, like the classic, I don't know, nickel and dime or something like that, like the rocket backslide alley porn star on
Lost
like the banks.
Cities. Do you remember Lost Cities? Yeah, they had a Dominican Republic section in Lost Cities.
I remember that. I remember that.
Represent.
But it was rough. The guy was skating this rusty handicap around. It was just like
it's grimy out there. It's really rough.
Has it not gotten better?
It's gotten better, but it's still like it's not.
It's still DR.
No, where my mom grew up, there was like no lights and just no road. It was just a forest.
I've heard wild things about DR, like
nowhere.
Machete fights is a big thing.
That's normal.
Big fights.
Yeah, that was like a gang thing. It was normal. What else? Just a lot of stabbing.
But I remember like how you're saying like the soyales, that was like a mess up. Like the toyale. Like I remember.
But that's a lot of. I feel like a lot of tricks happen, especially rollerblading.
Remember, fast slides wasn't a serious trick. When in the 90s,
wasn't.
It was like kind of just like test out how a rail slides. We just do a fast slide real fast,
Yeah.
but like it became a super hard trick that people balanced and mastered it.
Now, yeah, but if you look at like Calvin used to do them, Calvin Sales, and like Arlo. If you look at they're doing fast slides, but it's like fast slides
on like a two stair.
Yeah,
really fast.
Things like that. But yeah, it just. I think that tricks for, I just have, somebody has to tell me, hey, you think you could do this trick? Or I don't know. I could do them. It's just somebody has to tell me, hey, try this trick.
He needs direction.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like me and you skated mini ramp, and I've like, I think I was one time you were like on a, what was it, mistrial to mistrial?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Trick.
And you got it.
I got it. No, yeah. But I could do it. I just have to somebody has to be like, hey, Ariel, you should try this with me.
Yeah.
And just do it.
That's what helps skating with other people in general. Everyone you push each other, or you just try things that you don't normally try because the other person doesn't necessarily skate the same way that you do.
Yeah.
It's also good to have a filmer and videographer that knows you.
Yeah, that's
and
the thing.
Big difference.
You're out there on the same mission.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to get clips, they're wanting to get clips. Mm-hmm. So it's like they're seeing a spot and they're like, it's like
you want to feel comfortable.
It's like a bunch of tools. Like every person's like some tool, and each tool is different for a different job. Yeah. It's like, oh, this spot, it's for this guy.
You want to feel
cool. It's helpful.
You want to feel comfortable. Like, so even again, skating with Mike or even like Jeremy Raff or stuff like or Augusto, it's basically we go someplace, they like, yo, I will say something like, oh, I'd be sick to try this, and they're like, you could do that, and I'm like, yeah, I could do it. I bet I could do it. And then I'll do it, and then I have like the way it feels for me, and they're like, oh, we got it, and they're like, you want to see it? I usually just say, tell me, show it to Mike or show it whoever's around.
Yeah, I trust you if it's good enough.
Yeah, if you think it's good enough, I trust you.
You're not critical of your own skating like that?
Oh, I'm very critical, but I to me the way I skate is by feeling. Like it's a feeling when I land certain. There's a certain feeling that I have that I know that I did it right, and then like usually. When it comes out in the video, it's the one feeling one that it's like it's I don't know, it's it's hard to explain, but it's like
The
a
old gut.
It's like a feeling of landing
Gut
when
feeling.
you know.
Never lies.
Right there.
Yeah. Like, don't lie to yourself in skating either. Like, that's like,
Yeah.
like I tried, you know, if that foot was not on.
Like, yeah, don't lie to
not
yourself.
on.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
that's
you know you can lie to yourself. Like when you land the trick, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it came out good. You're like,
That's-
I'll take it.
that's
None of
the-
that.
You see it later, and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck.
'Cause it's about the
It's
feeling.
It's
Yeah.
immortalized.
So that's
Not the feeling. Yeah,
It's immortalized
the
on
shame is
YouTube and
immortalized.
Instagram, yes.
The shame is.
every time you watch it, you regret it. We
Yes.
all have those tricks and
Yeah.
those moments.
Mhm.
But that's the only time I look at the camera is literally on when I'm trying to do a trick and I'm trying to want my foot to be somewhere or look some. That's like if I'm missing, like, what was it? If there's a clip in the Ghetto Demigod that I'm grinding up that steep rail that's like the tree, the thing that's like around the tree. It's like I don't even know what you call it, but it's like the fencing that surrounds the tree.
okay.
But it was like
Yeah.
it was like somehow it was like angled up, and I was grinding. I did back torque 3 out, and then like Royale and like 270 off, but kicked the end on that. Like every time that I was kicking that thing, like I wanted to make sure where like I was kicking it, and I was just looking. I missed, and I was just let me see where's it I'm coming off early so I could like actually kick it right. And then like even when I'm landing something wrong, when I'm doing a spin off a trick and I could feel I'm landing heavy on one foot, I would do it over again. Like
Yeah.
I've done tricks that I've like done over again because I'm landing heavy on one foot, not completely even. I'm just don't like the feeling.
Yeah.
And like but it's mostly it's no lies, like feeling. If it feels good when I'm doing it and landing it, and like, you know, I'll go with it. You know?
Stick to your gut. You can always
Yeah.
count on it.
Mhm.
Always trustworthy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The next Ariel Surun video is gonna be called "The Feeling." by Ariel.
I feel like
There you
that's
go. I could do
that
that.
should be a collaboration with Miguel.
There you go.
Miguel
Oh.
literally just commented "The Feeling" heart emoji.
He knows. I skated with that.
Literally right now.
He's
He's
that's
big on the
another
feeling.
dude, but that's a guy that I've been skated. I skated with that guy for years. Like,
It's ultimately dopamine kicks.
yeah,
But it's the healthy way.
He knows it.
So you gotta.
Ultimately,
I've gotten some crazy adventures with Miguel back in the Isla de Puerto Rico. At the old
Puerto Rico.
de Puerto Rico. That's the Dominica boys. Así duro. But yeah, Miguel he knows about that feeling, dude.
Yeah.
You know.
Miguel's all about that.
Yeah, I love skating with that guy.
Yeah, the best. Shout out Miguel.
Shout out
Yeah.
Miguel Ramos. I guess we open it up for questions. If anyone has any questions, do you have anything
Yeah,
else, Billy?
let me ask if anyone has any questions.
If
Yeah.
anyone has any questions, leave them below. We prioritize the super chat ones, and we split our super chats with our guests. So drop your questions below if you have them, if you're watching live right now. Also, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button. It helps us out too. And we have our Patreon questions too that we could get into in the meantime while we wait for other questions
Cool.
to pop up.
Wait, you said something about money. Who's getting money? What? For the chat? From what? What's going on?
If people do super chats,
Yeah.
Like
which
like
I feel
people
like
could donate.
it was bigger during COVID because
Yeah.
more.
It happens though.
It happens still. We split those with our guests.
Oh, dude.
There's still a few super chats in there.
If I get some of that, yo, you guys can have it. I want to donate it to Jump Street.
Well, you
Buy
can
more
decide that
pizza.
later. We encourage our
We
guests to keep
encourage
that.
our
If
guess
it,
to
if it
keep-
does, you know.
We strongly encourage our guests
You
to
know.
keep their money.
Speaking of super chats, we
Yeah.
do have a
That's
couple.
why they're donating.
We do have a couple off the bat. Eric Miller, super chatted. You said Ariel's the man. That is all. Shinobi Blade Clan also super chatted. No text or anything, but shout out to Shinobi Blade Clan. But yeah, let's start off with this Patreon question first from Tree Rudolph. He says, "What are some of your favorite spots that are no longer skatable?"
in New York.
It doesn't specify.
Bubble banks in New York.
Oh,
Is that not skatable anymore?
They're gone. They've been gone.
I haven't been there forever. But I didn't even realize
Do
they
you-
were gone.
Yeah,
gone for a while. Yeah.
they were. Yeah, that. The banks.
The
Sad.
banks, yeah.
I'm really.
That's a given.
I'm really sad about that one.
It might not officially be gone though.
I don't know.
It's a mystery.
I keep hearing all these different stuff.
I mean, but you could.
It
see
might be
It's
it might
still
be a mall there.
They're
It might,
still
you know.
there. Yeah, they could change it. Do you remember when they first blocked off the banks? They were like, they
Yeah.
the city put a thing. It was like for 2 to 5 years it'll be closed for, and we're all like, damn, that sucks. And it's been I think more than 10, 12 years, something like that so far.
Dude,
and it's
there was
still
a
nothing.
lady that lived in my building that worked painting and they were like, yeah, they're not opening till.
No
from-
way.
Yeah.
And it looks worse and worse now than
Yeah.
it did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So
But I think that's it.
just those two bubble banks and
The
all the
nine-
bank spots.
The 9 stair, The 9 stair of the banks was the shit.
I've never got to skate
The
that.
original Union
original
Square.
one.
Never skated the
Yeah,
original
Original
9.
9. It was the best. It was like a perfect. It was very chill.
Yeah.
I was there before I was able to hit like rails.
You guys ever
properly.
gapped into the street through the gap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a big. That was a
another
big thing.
You know,
Over the
that's
wall.
the thing. I get
That
mad
was
at.
actually my first photo.
Oh, yeah, that's right,
in
in the magazine.
in Daily Bread magazine.
That's awesome.
And it was for a plugs ad.
Yeah,
It's the Daily Bread with Eric, I think Morales on the cover doing a sweat stance and some dirks with
Eric
like
Morales,
with the
yeah.
the
medium,
beanie.
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
medium beanie with the
visor
Ew.
beanie.
the
Yes.
visor.
That's a sick
And
photo.
if you go like to the back
Stop.
page, there's a plugs ad,
Yeah.
and I'm just
You can't see your face though, right? It's just
no,
like you.
but it's
I hate
me.
that.
Yeah, it's you. No, it's sick.
I mean, I
You know, the
I know because I got the free pairs of plugs clothing and a $50 check sent to my house like 3 weeks
$50?
later. Yeah,
That's
Ooh.
good.
yeah, they were in a van like this, like, yo, you guys want to be in plugs? I was like, great, of course I do.
So you just skating
I would
there
love to.
anyway, and they were just
That's
like,
awesome.
Me and my Russian buddy Misha. Shout out Misha.
That's cool though. You're just skating, and then randomly someone's like, "All right, just take a picture of you, $50."
Yeah, it was great.
When you're like a
That's
kid,
dope.
a teenager,
It's
or however old you
fantastic.
were.
But the banks, man, jumping over.
That,
I-
jumping over that.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me mad though, if you drive by it, you can see it. They're doing shit to it. It's
just
like
blocked
it's a
off.
fucking-
No, they just
No,
they literally just took
redid
it away from
Yeah.
everyone having fun.
No, yeah.
Isn't it fenced? Like
No,
the-
no. So that's
It looks
what
like I
happened.
Am
They
Legend
put
in the banks now.
Yeah, yeah,
It
it does.
does.
It does. Yeah.
They
Everything's
put the
outgrown.
fence. They put the fence, and then people are gapping over the spike fence that they
Oh
put.
wow!
And then they were like, you know what? We're just gonna take the
You
whole
can
thing.
go to hell. Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
remember people jumping over the spiky
Oh,
fence.
Well, you know, it
There's
was
some
the
skateboarders
way
I
we
know
used
some
to
ballsy.
homies did it. No, you were able to do it, dude.
the way we used to skate it too was like not.
It was dangerous.
Oh, it makes perfect sense why they blocked it off.
Yeah, we
Oh.
didn't. We
you
you know
have to like
you-
look at the extra ramp.
now it's like a driver when you're driving down, like
Oh,
you're just
yeah.
driving some kids flying
Flying.
like into the
Yeah.
front of your car like 10 feet away from
Yeah.
you, and then you're like beep because you're scared, and the kid tells you to go to hell.
yeah, yeah.
And go
You
screw
didn't want to
yourself.
stop.
We're
You
lucky
didn't wanna-
that
you
we're
didn't wanna
lucky that no
stop
one got
there.
hit by a car or seriously hit by a car. I mean, it's kind of like the
You had Ryan Jackalone being
Jump.
like, sorry,
Yeah, no, yeah,
Ryan
Ryan.
Jackalone be like, "What are you doing driving over here on the street? What's the matter with you? Slow it down. You're in a
mon-
car."
You're not supposed to drive on this exit. You went on the wrong exit.
What? The guy's
Yeah.
like, what?
Dude, but I would not stop because I was one of those kids. I screamed that. But
Right.
you
No, me
if
too.
you
I did
drove,
the same thing.
You're not gonna want to stop.
Yeah,
Right
No.
there.
so funny.
It's like a worse version of the Front Street in Brooklyn spot because you do kind of start from the highway, but it's much safer because
Yeah.
you're not launching into it; you're coming out of it, so you have like
Yeah.
more time and everything to check getting hit by a car. We don't have many questions, but we do have one from watching live. Dave Sullivan
No,
Said-
that's
said, "I'd love to hear the California downhill story. How fast on blades?"
if that's Dave Sullivan, that's my father-in-law most likely there.
Oh.
He's a gentleman. That's it. Yeah. So with the all right, so there's a, a couple of them. So the reason I'm so good at going pretty fast down snake runs is basically when I lived in San Francisco with me and Robert Guerrero for a hot minute, and this is when I started skating for Rollerblade. Rob was going away on a rollerblade trip. I wasn't going that time, and I was at the house, and like I was like, man, I'm bored. I wonder what I wish I had some rec skates so I could skate around. And I found some like 5-wheel speed skates, like ankle joints, and I put them on. And I went like, this is in San Francisco. Went outside to try to like, I was like, I'm just gonna skate and bomb these hills with this thing. I went like maybe like half a block, and I was like, no, I'm gonna kill myself.
Yes. Yeah.
So then like Robert called me. He's like, dude, I got the ill present for you, and this and that. And I'm like, I'm excited about this. It was a pair of Rollerblade made these UFS 90mm frames, and he got me a pair with like, this is before hydrogen wheels. They were called Atom wheels. They're still around. Super expensive, fast wheels, and like all.
There were
fast.
hydrogen wheels?
No, this was before hydrogen. It was a company called Atom.
There was a wheels called hydrogen?
Rollerblade makes
Rollerblade makes a wheel called
okay,
hydrogen.
We got hydrogen, we got oxygen.
It's, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, hydrogen, oxygen.
Yeah.
Well,
Atoms.
how many elements
Oh,
of the
yeah.
periodic table are we going to use? Yeah, I got it. Helium.
Rocks. Kryptonics had rocks back in the day.
Okay,
But-
kryptonics.
But basically, yeah, it was before the hydrogen rec skate wheels and the speed skate wheels. It was the Atom wheels, and we got them, and we literally used to bomb these hills in SF, like going really, really fast and making turns and everything, trying to wait for the green light and all that. Kenan used to live like all the way. I forgot the part of the city he used to live at, but
he's from Park Slope.
Kenan's from Park Slope. Yes, he is actually from Brooklyn. But this is when
Sterling Street.
I think it's Sterling Street. But he was living in SF, and it was like somewhere downtown SF. But we had to bomb a hill to get to his house, and he had like a P rail, so we used to go down there to go skate it. But we used to always bomb these hills. Very sketchy. It was very dumb of us of doing it. But that was that time, and then later on, there's a hill that Robert Guerrero and Jason Reduta used to try to skate. I don't know if they did the whole thing halfway. But me and Robert kept talking about it for years, like, oh, we should do it. And then, like, years went by, I moved away from San Francisco, moved back to New York. Went back to SF for something, and was it his cousin's wedding, maybe? Or maybe not. I think it was, like, for Halloween. No, yeah, it was for go up. I was going to hang out there, and then we were going to drive to Blading Cup. So I was like, hey, we should go do that crazy hill that you and Jason used to do. And it's...
I think you showed me the GoPro video of this.
Yeah, it was like he had 90s. I had 84 flat. And it was I for sure we're definitely going over 50 or over 60. Yeah. But that's nobody died. We all made it.
It's a pretty safe hill. I mean, it was crazy,
it was crazy speed. The thing about it too, it was funny because I told Robert, I was like, I feel like we're gonna do it one time, and we're gonna end up liking it. So this is a lot, I don't want to keep skating up. So we called his cousin, Junior, and I remember calling him. I was like, hey, meet us at this corner. He's like, what are you guys doing there? You guys selling drugs? And I was like, no,
we need you to drive us up the hill.
Yeah. So basically he came and drove us up the hill a bunch of times. And
it's nice.
Yeah. But
I've never properly done a hill bomb before.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I think
I've done like
safer.
St. George or like Uptown, but like not like a proper like.
It's safer with bigger wheels.
How long are you coming out to California for?
Yeah,
for the Blade Cup?
I don't know yet, really. Like
it's safer with bigger wheels.
A week, maybe a little less, something like that.
We'll
you got hills by there?
Yeah, we'll find one.
It's
big wheels are better.
It's safer than riding little like 50 or 60 millimeter wheels. Or they're like 80, like high speeds. That thing turn into like jet like ice.
Yeah.
With softer wheel. Yeah.
You need like some of these.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, you finally got some 80s.
Those aren't mine. Those are Mariah's. But
okay.
I do have like 84s and 90s and stuff like that.
I know.
You see Austin slipping and sliding all over Instagram.
I feel like I remember
he's slipping one way, slipping the other way on Instagram. This guy.
Yeah. He's it's funny because it's I remember like that. I felt like I was the only, like me and Robert, the only one at one moment skating big wheels, and Greg Mirzone. Because I did a lot of stuff with Greg Mirzone with big wheels.
I never broke.
Not yet. You still riding Anthor?
I stayed true.
Still riding Anthor?
I'm not riding Anthor.
You still flat?
There was a day.
Wow, he tried to gun me down. You saw that?
You went back. I just assumed you went back to Anthor Rock.
Are you skating flat?
I'm skating flat, but I'm probably gonna go back to Anthor Rock. Because or Rock 2. I think I might do 2. That's the final.
I still do Annie. People think I skate flat, but I
Annie's dope.
I love Annie.
I don't care what anyone says.
I remember
I'm out here I'm skating flat right now, so I really can't say anything.
Yeah.
But Annie's dope.
I remember you tried a pair of like speed skates at Summer Street.
I did. They were Kyle's, right?
I
was flying, dude.
I remember because I was like, dude, it's like you have a pair of Lambos right now. It's gonna be very hard for you to stop.
Stopping.
He started going really.
I was killing everybody, dude.
Fast, yeah.
Okay, so killing everybody. So Summer Street is like they closed down like
Park Avenue.
It's like Houston.
It's
not on Houston. It starts on Park. So 14th Street,
all the way from like
Houston
downtown.
Street, right?
Yeah, no,
it's like Houston to like 60 something street, right?
Even
70s?
further downtown.
Further down?
Downtown, yeah. To like,
so they have Park Avenue closed down all the way down.
Hmm.
It's like to promote like people like riding bikes.
Yeah,
it's
really
dope.
Street.
It's actually really dope.
So everyone's it is dope. It's
really
a dope thing in the summer. So basically like riding bikes and you see skateboards out there, rollerblades,
everything.
But bikes are usually going the fastest. Like I was freaking killing everybody, dude. I was flying past everyone on like these 5-wheel blades that were Kyle Solas.
They're 125.
They're like
5 wheels, 125.
No.
They were actually those. I remember you trying. They were 3-wheel, 125. They were really
those are insane.
Were they?
Yeah,
because the ones that Kyle had the ankle joints, The blue leather.
Oh, those you have.
Those are like 2 racks.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember those.
Those things are crazy.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
those. So those are bonds.
Yeah.
But I feel like you rode another one that was like, I don't know if Kyle had it, but it was one that had a crate. I think it was maybe a rollerblade one, but it was gnarly. But I remember you were going really fast. Either or, those skates are pretty. Any of those, you could cook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you're just used to riding.
How'd you stop, Billy?
Yes.
You smashed through a pole?
Yeah.
That's what I did pretty much the first time I did big wheel.
I don't know.
skating.
Some guy, may he rest in peace.
I did that to a lady. I told her story on the show
killed
before.
some
I crushed
guy.
a lady on the sidewalk. Yeah, it took her
Yeah.
out. She got out of work, unfortunately, like rush hour, and I just crashed through her on the street. And I looked back, and I was like, sorry. And she was on the ground. There's like people helping pick her up and shit. You don't know how to stop in those things. We're not used to that with like the smaller wheels or anything like that.
I've never
I'm
done
slightly
it.
better now at it.
I've had a couple accidents on a bike, but
Yeah.
Yo.
I mean, bike, you got brakes, though.
Pizza French fry.
my
bro. Pizza
bike
French fry.
didn't. I was riding fixed for a while.
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah, the fixie's dangerous. Yeah.
You stop faster on a fix than with brakes sometimes. But
Yeah.
I feel like I almost died on one of your bikes that you had when you were living on
The yellow.
on 4th on was it what was that in the city right by Union Square? What was that
14th, 13th,
13th.
Street, 4th Ave.
This
Yeah.
dude had a bike. I don't know what bike was it, but I was like, he's like, yo, word, I ride it. Yo, Fish, I'll bring it back. I was going downtown somewhere, and somehow somebody cut me off, but the brakes were not that good. But I
Someone
thought I
clipped
was
the brakes on you?
Oh, I remember like I had.
Oh no, I'm. There was a point I was riding like brake.
Maybe they didn't have
brakeless,
brakes or
brakeless.
something,
Oh, yeah.
but I
Yeah.
didn't. I
Not a
didn't,
fixie, though?
No,
yeah, it was
single speed brakeless.
It was
Death-
maybe it was that one.
Death Wish.
But I
use your
almost,
foot
I
on the
almost,
back
yeah.
It's like,
I
this is my
remember-
favorite bike. It's called the Death Wish.
Yeah, good luck.
I think I tried to do that, but I think I knocked somebody's bumper off their a taxi.
Yeah,
Oh, a taxi's fine.
Yeah.
it's okay.
They're used to that shit. But, yo, Ariel, it's been awesome having you on the show. We had definitely a lot of laughs. It was a great
We're
stories.
done.
Yeah.
Is there anything? No, we're not done yet.
Oh. Like,
But is there anything else that you wanted to say before we?
dude, shout out to
More about that
everybody that skates and keep skating.
Shout
Don't
out-
quit.
Shout out to
Yeah.
everybody. Oh, yeah.
Everybody, dude. Everybody in New
Literally
York.
everybody.
Dude,
He
it's
looked up
funny.
in the
No,
sky.
I was literally gonna make up. I was gonna make a list of everybody, just like everybody from New York, like
That would have been a 2-hour.
I know.
long
I've been
episode.
like Jesus Medina, Julio Rivera, Ray, John Ortiz, rest in peace, Knuff, Eddie Campos. Jesus, you go for days. So Zay Disla, Robert Disla, Harry Disla, Joe DeDentro, Calvin Sales. One thing I want to say. All right, if you remember on Hoax, it was the contest versus it was
Calvin versus
Rawlinson.
Rawlinson. Mhm.
what would have happened? It would have been Rawlinson. I mean Calvin versus any of the other guys like Arlo, Michael Palek.
What do you mean? What would have happened?
What would happen? Who you think would have won?
Calvin.
Calvin. Calvin would have won no matter what.
I always think of that because Calvin was pretty awesome at skating. And that battle, I wish it was something different.
Calvin Rawlinson should
Instead-
rebattle.
No, I think it should have been like not New York versus New York. It should have been like versus other heads. They were the top
Yeah.
heads, right? You want to go versus
Yeah.
the top heads.
Yeah.
You
Makes
know what I'm
sense.
saying?
I still think Calvin would have done pretty.
Oh, he would have
good.
crushed him. Calvin was
Yeah.
insanely good at that
Yeah.
point. He was like this dude. I think he won this. He could skate for.
Calvin is like
He was
a
nasty.
lot of people don't
Sleep.
remember
Sleep.
how good he. The only thing he was so good at so many aspects, but his only like weakness was like I think big handrails.
Yes.
Like he didn't like love big handrails in the big handrails era. Like he had moves, but like it wasn't his forte. He just like really stylish
yeah.
skater.
He's
Yeah.
even got flips and shit too.
Oh, dude,
Some of
he
the
could
best
skate-
fives.
First of
Oh,
all,
yeah, the
he could skate.
Brownies.
He could
Yeah.
skate vert. He
Yeah.
actually skated vert Again, there was a lot of people in New York that could skate around that era. That
Vert.
stopped skate everything. You wanted to
Yeah.
skate everything. So, but yeah,
Wild.
I don't know what other name, but yeah, keep going.
No, Ariel, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
been awesome. Thank you everybody for watching us.
Thank you guys.
Again, check out that Blank 2023 Team Skate. Go to blankrollingproducts.com to learn more about it. Watch the cool video. Get all the specs and info on it. Check it out. Available now, and depending on where you are in the world, until November 15th, they'll be shipping out all over the place. So thank you, Blank, for sponsoring the show. If you are at the Frankie Invitational in 2 weeks from now,
It's the weekend after this next weekend,
It's
October 22nd.
I'm gonna try to make it. I'm
And then
gonna
Brady
I have
Cup.
to talk to the wife. Just
Yeah.
make a quick vacation. Having Frankie's is the homie, and
Be like,
Yeah.
Kelly, you
Oh,
could wear my
support.
jacket if I could.
You got to
there.
go do the right thing tonight.
I-
Then make dinner, clean the
Dude,
house.
I make that happen. You know,
That's it.
I
You
do
do. You got
I
to do
do
those
it,
things.
dude.
You
I
gotta
do
do
it.
pizza night.
You know, she's busy. She's running a company, so I
Right.
have to come in and help, and you know, so
I tell my wife all the time. I'm like, listen, because she just got a new job. I'm like, listen, if you climb your way to the top, I'm more than happy to be a stay-at-home mom. You can eat.
Take care of the dogs.
Believe me, you'll come home to a hot meal every night, and you could eat off the floor. That's how clean it's going to be. in
Cooking
here.
with Bill. Cooking
I
with
will.
Bill.
I will pay money if this dude starts just a Cooking with Bill podcast.
Let's go.
Hi, my name is.
I could do it.
You should do that.
I
We
would
could-
love
we, ha-
to
we, have,
see
we, have,
it.
we have plans for a few things in the future too. So
I will, what do a Jump Street
Love that.
cooking?
I am
you
gonna-
know,
I'm gonna
Jump
get-
Street cooking segment. You know,
that's just gonna take off more than any other skate video we've ever posted.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is they're saying like 8 or 9 things, but I'll show you how to make
That's
those
enough
things.
for a season 1.
That's it. Let's
Right
go.
All right, stay tuned for that.
Woo.
Ariel, you're the man. Thank you, everyone watching.
you,
Thank you
guys.
so much. Subscribe, like this video. We appreciate it. We'll see you all in the next one. Peace.